Chapter 149. That's right. Eldest brother, you must get well soon. You still owe eldest sister a wedding. Second elder said to Shin Jianchuan. Shin Jianchuan looked at Rong Junhan and said weakly, Exin? But he could not say the word, suffering, because he had been in a coma for a long time. His body still needed a long time to recover. It's good that you are awake. No one mentioned that he had a daughter, because they knew that it was not appropriate to talk about it at this moment. But second aunt was still afraid that Grandpa Shin would say it. So, she dragged him out of the ward and said, Father, the doctor said that eldest brother has been in a coma for a long time. He needs to rest and recover. He should not be agitated. So, we don't want to tell eldest brother that Mu Chichi is his daughter. We will tell him when he is feeling better. Grandpa Sheng looked at his second daughter-in-law deeply as if he knew what she was planning. Is it that good for you to stop Mu Chichi from marrying into the Shin family? That's what the doctor said. Second aunt insisted. Grandpa Shin did not answer her. But he did not deny it either. He had his own plan. Because he did not think that it was agitating for eldest sister. But now that eldest sister had woken up, the marriage with the Rong family must go ahead. Wouldn't it be more difficult for Mu Chichi if Rong Junhan married into the Shin family? Grandpa Shin did not want to do that. Why couldn't the granddaughter of the Shin family marry into the Shin family? Mu Chichi hid in the new house for the whole night. When she woke up in the morning, her mind was much clearer. No matter what was happening in the Shin family, she only had one goal. That was to be with Xing Xiao. Since she was so determined, why should she be afraid of the Shin family? Moreover, he was her biological father. She did not believe that Shin Jianchuan would humiliate his daughter like Papa Mu. So, she went back to the villa early in the morning. How is it, Chichi? Don't worry, Aunt Zipei. Mu Tongxue will never be able to make a comeback. Her identity was exposed in public yesterday, Mu Chichi replied. I locked her in front of Mommy's grave last night. I don't know if she is still alive or not. She deserves it. I'm just worried about your relationship with the Shin family. And how can the Shin family accept me so easily? I never have such a dream, but there's something I need to tell you. What? Su Zipei looked at Mu Chichi seriously. Eldest young Master Shin, wake up. Su Zipei understood what Mu Chichi meant. I didn't expect that young Master Shin could wake up. You have a father now. But I'm afraid that Rong Junhan will not be easy to deal with. Your mother used to be the obstacle between her and young Master Shin. Now that you are involved, she will not tolerate you. Aunt, don't worry too much. I have Xiao Xiao. Mu Chichi held Su Zipei's hands and comforted her. Now you should go and enjoy your life with Uncle Lu. I won't have much time to spend with you after school starts. Now that you've married into the Shin family as your aunt, I can't embarrass you. So, I've signed up for a lot of hobbies. I don't care if I'm not interested in finance or shares, but I have to understand them. Otherwise, people will laugh at me when I go out to socialize. A woman's greatest wealth was actually self-improvement. Alright, then we'll work hard together. And after I'm gone, please keep an eye on Mu Tongxue. You can't let her die. Don't worry. Su Zipei patted Mu Chichi's head. Take good care of yourself when you go out for the military training. Okay. Mu Chichi packed up her things and went back to the new house. Although Xing Xiao would not be at home during the day, she felt more at ease staying in their little home. Everything in this villa was good, but there were no photos of the two of them. Although there was the smell of the two of them living everywhere, she still felt that it was not like a home. After that, Mu Chichi packed up her clothes. Grandpa Shin called her. Xiaoqi, when are you going for the military training? Tomorrow morning. Listen to my arrangements. Come and meet your father tonight. At least, let him know that he has a daughter. Since it was arranged at night, it meant that the Shin family did not agree to it. So, Grandpa Shin planned to arrange the meeting between Mu Chichi and Shin Jianchuan behind everyone's back. Grandpa, we still have a chance in the future. Some things should be done as soon as possible. Grandpa Shin was anxious. After all, Rong Junhan was the one taking care of Shin Jianchuan most of the time when he woke up. All right. Mu Chichi nodded. Because she wanted to give herself hope. Then I'll call you tonight. After that, Grandpa Shin hung up the phone. Mu Chichi was deep in thought. Then she texted Xing Xiao. Grandpa asked me to go to the hospital tonight. Secretly meet your father? Yes. Because the Shin family might not be happy about it. Do you need to care about their feelings? Xing Xiao asked. Just go if you want to. Don't worry about the time. You are Brother Shin's biological daughter. Will Rong Junhan stop you? But, you can't please this person. Xing Xiao said. Then he asked Mu Chichi, do you want to go? Yes. After all, he was her biological father. He was afraid that Rong Junhan would be the second Mu Tongxue. So, she would talk bad about her before Xin Jianchuan even met her. Then just go. You're my daughter. Why should I be afraid? You don't have anything to do with the Shin family. So, you don't have to be afraid. Go. I'll come and pick you up after I'm done with my work. You will go to the military training tomorrow. I'll bring you out for a feast tonight. Okay. Mu Qiqi thought about it. Xiao Xiao was right. Her uncles were trying to stop her. But she did not need to be afraid. So she called Grandpa Shin. Grandpa, I'm coming now. Okay. I'll arrange it. Grandpa Shin agreed. After the call, Grandpa Shin went back to the ward. He sat beside Xin Jianchuan. He grabbed his eldest son's hand and asked, Eldest son, do you know that you have a daughter? Father, are you confused? What are you talking about? Second aunt was stunned. She quickly stopped Grandpa Shin. Because her main purpose of staying in the hospital was to prevent Grandpa Shin from telling others about it. But Grandpa Shin looked at her coldly. Why don't you change your surname to Rong? What do you think? Father, didn't we agree? I didn't agree with you too. I just want to tell eldest son about it. Do you know that you have a daughter? Xin Jianchuan was stunned. He shook his head. Su Ziqing is your daughter. She has been raised by the Mu family for 18 years. But your brothers are afraid that your sister-in-law will be unhappy. So they did not want to tell you about it. Chapter 150. Xin Jianchuan was as thin as a stick. When he woke up, only his eyes were full of life. He could not express his feelings after hearing what Grandpa Shin said. But he nodded his head. He had been sleeping alone for more than 10 years. He had spent the best part of his youth on the bed. He had missed so many things. But he still had a daughter. That was the only comfort he had. How could he not want to see her? Grandpa Shin knew that he wanted to see her. He patted his knee and nodded. I will let you see her later. Father. Second aunt was very worried. She called Rong Junhan while they were talking. Rong Junhan knew that she could not stop Grandpa Shin. After all, she was Xin Jianchuan's daughter. What she needed to do now was not to stop him but to register their marriage as soon as possible. Huang Yu Mu Qiqi is Jianchuan's daughter. He has the right to know about this. Won't you feel wronged? Second aunt was helpless. Jianchuan has woken up. Then I will not feel wronged anymore. Rong Junhan's words would only make the Shin family sympathize with her more. So they would try their best to stop Mu Qiqi from marrying into the Shin family. Rong Junhan knew that would happen. But she still wanted to go to the hospital to see Mu Qiqi meet Xin Jianchuan. Only then she would feel relieved. When she married into the Shin family, she would control her daughter. Then she would have the right to do so. Mu Qiqi wanted to meet Xin Jianchuan. So Xing Xiao asked old Lin to send Mu Qiqi and Su Zipei to the hospital. Su Zipei was worried that Mu Qiqi would be bullied. But Mu Qiqi patted her hand and said, Aunt, don't worry. I'm not the old Mu Qiqi now. I will not let anyone bully me. Su Zipei was still worried. But she did not stop Mu Qiqi. The two of them arrived at the hospital together. Mu Qiqi managed to find Xin Jianchuan's ward from the front desk. But when she entered the elevator, she bumped into Rong Junhan. Mu Qiqi was stunned. But she still entered the elevator with Su Zipei. Aunt Rong, didn't you say that you will not return to the Shin family? Now that Jianchuan has just woken up, he's in a hurry to visit him. Then the elevator reached the 9th floor. Rong Junhan walked out of the elevator first, followed by Mu Qiqi and Su Zipei. Second aunt was at the door of the ward. When she saw Rong Junhan, she went up to her immediately. Sister-in-law. Mu Qiqi was right behind them, but Huang Yu stopped her. Qiqi, you can go in later. What? Mu Qiqi asked second aunt. Huang Yu was afraid that Grandpa Xing would hear them, so she quickly pulled Mu Qiqi to the side and explained to her. Actually, the doctor said that your father has just woken up and needs to rest. He can't be too agitated. So, can you come over another day? When your father feels better. Mu Qiqi looked at Huang Yu with deep eyes and a smile. Second aunt is not like third aunt. When you tell such a lie, your expression is unnatural. Huang Yu was stunned. I know that you are fighting for Auntie Rong, but as an elder, is it right for you to make things difficult for a junior? Moreover, this is my family's matter. It has nothing to do with you. But sister-in-law has worked hard for the Shin family all these years. If it were you, what would you do? You can go ahead. I will go in. Mu Qiqi pushed second aunt's arm away. Second aunt, please know your place. Xin Jianchuan is my father. It's only right for a daughter to visit her father. But he doesn't want to see you, really? Mu Qiqi sneered. She wanted to force her way in. Whether he wants to see me or not, he will know after he goes in. You can't go in. Mu Qiqi knew that Huang Yu was purposely making things difficult for her, so she did not want to give her face. She took out the recording pen that Xing Xiao gave her. I don't want to make things difficult for you. Don't make things difficult for me too. If Grandpa hears this recording, how would he feel? Huang Yu's expression changed, but she did not think that she had done anything wrong. You have your position and I have mine. But I don't feel sorry for you. Then let Grandpa listen to it. You. Mu Qiqi snorted and put away the recording pen. When she entered the ward, she turned around and said to Huang Yu, I have always been in awe of the Shen family. After all, it is an aristocratic family. But after seeing you and third aunt, I only have one sentence to say to you. You are nothing more than this. Huang Yu could not stop her. She could only watch Mu Qiqi push the door open. When Grandpa Shen saw his granddaughter, he quickly got up and pulled her to Shen Jianchuan. As if presenting a treasure, he said, Look, it's your daughter. Mu Qiqi looked at the weak man on the bed. The man was very excited. He wanted to raise his hand, but his muscles did not listen to him. Mu Qiqi sat down in front of Shen Jianchuan and held his trembling hands. It was the second time they met. But blood was thicker than water. She could feel Shen Jianchuan's excitement. I don't know what to say. I just hope that you will get better soon. Then you will know what happened recently. Shen Jianchuan looked at Mu Qiqi and blinked. Don't worry. If you want to see me, just tell Grandpa. He will call me. Shen Jianchuan blinked again. There was even a tear at the corner of his eye. Mu Qiqi wiped it away for him. Then she smiled and said, I am studying forensic science in Xingting University. You can come and find me when you get better. It takes 5 years to study forensic science. Shen Jianchuan wanted to say something but he could not. He wanted to touch his daughter more. After all, Mu Qiqi and Su Ziqing were very similar. But his hands were trembling. He could not control his muscles. I will go for military training tomorrow. I will come and see you when I am free. You must be able to speak by then, okay? Shen Jianchuan nodded. He nodded many times. He was not so excited even when he saw Grandpa Shen and Rong Junhan when he woke up. Grandpa Shen was very happy. Although his son had been asleep for so many years, the heavens still gave him a daughter. When he heard that he had a daughter, Grandpa Shen could feel that his eldest son's heart was suddenly revived. Although he didn't want to admit it, he knew that his son's favorite woman was still Su Ziqing. This made Rong Junhan even more jealous. After all, she was the one who took care of Shen Jianchuan for the past 10 years. But now, Shen Jianchuan did not even look at her when he had a daughter. How could she be satisfied? Chapter 151. Grandpa, I need to pack my luggage later. I'm leaving now. Shen Jianchuan grabbed Mu Qiqi's hand. He was reluctant to let her go. But Mu Qiqi winked at him, indicating that she would come again when she had time. Shen Jianchuan let go of her hand. Let's go. I'll send you out. It's okay. I'm outside. Mu Qiqi got up and glanced at Shen Jianchuan. Then she left her father's ward. Outside the ward, Su Zipei and Huang Yu seemed to have talked to each other. Both of them looked strange. But Mu Qiqi did not ask. Let's go. Did you see him? Su Zipei asked. Yes. Mu Qiqi nodded. She deliberately raised her voice. Dad is very happy to see me. He hopes that I can come and see him often. Humph. Huang Yu snorted. That's good. Let's go home. We have to wake up early tomorrow. They walked out of the hospital together. But Mu Qiqi had already received a message from Sheng Xiao. He would be at the hospital soon. And you and Uncle Lin can leave first. Xiao Xiao will come and pick me up. Okay. Take care of yourself. As long as Xing Xiao was there, Su Zipei would be at ease. Because he would take good care of Mu Qiqi. He would never let Mu Qiqi be bullied. Mu Qiqi watched Su Zipei leave. Then she found a secluded place and waited for Sheng Xiao. A moment later, a black Maybach stopped in front of Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi opened the door and got in. She saw Xing Xiao wearing sunglasses. His handsome face was mesmerizing. Why did you change your car again? Xing Xiao actually liked yellow sports cars. But he had not driven such an eye-catching car for a long time because he wanted to date her. Did you see Dad? Xing Xiao asked. Yes. Mu Qiqi nodded. I think he will be a good father. But I was stopped by second aunt at the door just now. Aunt Rong obviously doesn't like me. Your father is not someone who can be tricked easily. He used to be like me. Xing Xiao answered Mu Qiqi while driving. He is also a passionate man. He will not be influenced by women. So you don't have to worry. But he can't move right now. Little one, this is how you can tell right from wrong. Xing Xiao pointed at his own head. And one more thing, Mu Tongshui is gone. How so? They're either dead or hidden. Xing Xiao brought her to the revolving restaurant they used to go to because it was the only place that was absolutely hidden. Mu Qiqi liked it too. The night view at night was not bad. Isn't it obvious that even you can't find it? But it can't be the Mu family. That's interesting. Xing Xiao led Mu Qiqi out of the car. The two of them hugged each other like a couple in love. Soon the two of them entered the private room. The first thing Xing Xiao did was to hold Mu Qiqi on his thighs. Lifting her chin, he asked, "You're going to leave for a week. How are you going to compensate me?" "I will miss you very much, even in my dreams," Mu Qiqi quickly said. "We haven't been apart for more than a year. That's why I won't be used to leaving you." Xiao Xiao. Mu Qiqi's last word was filled with endless grievance and coquettishness. Xing Xiao enjoyed it very much. Military training is in a place full of male hormones. Mu Qiqi said nothing. She simply unbuttoned Xing Xiao's shirt and licked his collarbone with her tongue. Xing Xiao's entire body tensed. He almost couldn't hold back and pressed her down on the table, although he had done that before. "No matter where I am, you will know what I'm doing and who I'm in contact with, won't you?" Xing Xiao grabbed Mu Qiqi's neck and looked at her with a sharp gaze. "You're mine. You're mine too. Mine alone. You can't get too close to those female celebrities when you attend events in the future. Not even if you're just fooling around." Xing Xiao smiled playfully. His heart was filled with sweetness. The little one was finally not being so careful with him. She knew to make demands of him. He believed that the relationship between a man and a woman must be equal. He could give Mu Qiqi time to grow up, but he also hoped that Mu Qiqi could give him a sense of security when it came to love. And her control was the sense of security that he recognized. Only then could he feel the strong feelings in Mu Qiqi's heart. And he liked being cared for like that. So he couldn't hold back anymore. He kissed her fiercely and forcefully. The waiter who was holding the tray opened the door and saw it. He was shocked. Xing Xiao didn't even look up. He simply told the waiter, "Get out. Close the door." The waiter blushed and quickly left the private room so that the two could kiss as they wished. This time Mu Qiqi was clearly more proactive. But Xing Xiao held back. "Let's go home and continue." Mu Qiqi's dress was in a mess. She looked very embarrassed. But Xing Xiao held her tightly in his arms and kissed her on the head. "You little one who made me lose control. I really want to eat you." "Then you eat me. You don't know what's good for you. Don't beg for mercy when we get home." Mu Qiqi laughed happily. She buried her head in Xing Xiao's arms. Her heart was beating fast. In fact, she wanted to sacrifice herself for Xing Xiao. She wanted to tell everyone about their relationship. She didn't care about the Shen family or the Sheng family. But she also knew that if she did that, she would completely ruin the happiness between her and Xing Xiao. After they finished their meal in the revolving restaurant, they planned to go out to enjoy the night view. But when they walked out of the private room, they saw Duan Xiao, and sitting at the bar counter. He was hugging a woman and they were kissing as if there was no one else around. Mu Qiqi saw that and glanced at Xing Xiao. When they walked out of the restaurant, Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao worriedly. "Speaking of which, I haven't seen Qian for a long time. I wonder how she is now. Do you want to tell her? If they broke up, I have nothing to say. But if Duan Xiao and went out behind Qian's back, up to you," Xing Xiao said. Then he brought her to the Ferris wheel. Mu Qiqi thought for a while. Then she took out her phone and called Qian. Qian heard Mu Qiqi's voice. She was very excited. "Qiqi, why did you call me so late? Are you okay? I just came back from abroad. I heard that many things happened to you. I was thinking of finding time to play with you." "You went abroad?" "Yes, with Xiao Han. We are getting engaged soon. When the time comes, you and the crown prince can come together." Qian's tone was light. She could feel that she was very happy now. But, wasn't what she and Xing Xiao saw the truth? Chapter 152. Mu Qiqi lowered her head and thought for a few seconds. Then she said to Xing Xiao in a low voice, "Xiao Xiao, Qian is my only friend." "Then tell her." Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi tightly and led her out of the revolving restaurant. "You don't have to come here anymore." "But Xiao Xiao, have you forgotten? Duan Xiao and has seen you in the club. He knows about our relationship. He has to have the chance to tell others," Xing Xiao said. Then he led Mu Qiqi out of the restaurant and back to their new home. Seeing that Mu Qiqi had packed her luggage, Xing Xiao's eyes darkened. He lifted Mu Qiqi over his shoulder. "Xiao Xiao, Weren't you seducing me unscrupulously in the restaurant? Xing Xiao moved closer to Muqiqi's nose and stared into her eyes. I was. Now you have to bear the consequences. With that, Muqiqi's neck was bitten viciously by Xing Xiao, and her body was held tightly in his arms. Muqiqi could not speak anymore. She was bitten for the whole night. She was only freed when the sky turned blue. But she felt as if she had just been fished out of the water. Her strength was completely drained. Of course, to avoid suspicion, Xing Xiao did not leave any obvious marks on Muqiqi's body. The little one still had to see people. Of course, he cherished her reputation. Muqiqi was very tired. In her daze, she saw a tall figure standing beside the big bed and cleaning her up. Muqiqi smiled at Xing Xiao in her half-awake state. Xing Xiao was excited. This little one actually smiled at him unguardedly at this moment. Was she not worried that she could not come to school on time tomorrow? Muqiqi slept soundly on the big bed. The next morning she was woken up by the alarm clock. When she went downstairs she saw Su Zipei cooking soup in the kitchen. But Xing Xiao was gone. Young Master Sheng called me early in the morning. He asked me to cook some nourishing chicken soup for you. You have been gone for a week. He is worried about you. Su Zipei explained. It's not because of that. Muqiqi blushed a little. Seeing that her walking posture was a little strange, Su Zipei was about to ask. But after thinking about it, she understood. Go wash up. Okay. I'm still young but I can't ignore it. Muqiqi could not refute her concern. After all, it was something between her and Xing Xiao, and it was not appropriate to talk about it with others. Your cell phone is with me. Grandpa Shen called early in the morning. He's in the hospital, so he won't be sending you to school. All right. There's one more thing. Su Zipei was about to tell her that she could not find Mu Tongxue when Muqiqi's phone rang again. Su Zipei answered it for her. Then she covered her phone and said, Rong Junhan. Give it to me. Muqiqi took the phone and put it to her ear. At Rong? Give me an address. I'll send you to Xingting. Rong Junhan said, Since you are Jianchuan's daughter, you will be my daughter in the future. It is only natural for me to take care of you. Any Rong don't bother. Any can give me a lift. You are a Shen. You can't stay in the Xing family's villa all the time. You have your parents and your family. Tell me the address. Rong Junhan was very strong. Moreover, Muqiqi did not know what she was planning. She undoubtedly hated Muqiqi's existence. But she still pretended to be kind to her. Who was she trying to fool? Muqiqi did not refuse. She told Rong Junhan the address of the villa. What did she say? She's not even married into the Shen family yet, but she's already the head of the family. She wants to send me to Xingting, said Muqiqi. Let's go, Aunt Rong. Let's pack up and go to the villa. Should I tell young Master Sheng? Muqiqi shook her head. Because she knew that Xing Xiao had his ways to find out about her. But she had not found a chance to tell him about Qianqian. Muqiqi did not know how to tell him about it. Not long after they arrived at the villa, Rong Junhan arrived in front of the villa in her limited edition white car. She said to Muqiqi when she saw her, Put your luggage in the car. Let's go. At Rong, I'm leaving now. Muqiqi put her luggage in the trunk and said goodbye to Su Zipei. Su Zipei looked at Muqiqi worriedly. But Rong Junhan was Shen Jianchuan's fiancée now. She had the right to take care of Muqiqi. Muqiqi got into the car and fastened the seatbelt. But there were many barriers between them. Moreover, Rong Junhan was driving fast on the road. Muqiqi, I know what you're thinking. Although you're acting like you don't want to go back to the Shen family, you've already planned it, haven't you? Jianchuan is your father. It's only a matter of time before he brings you back to the Shen family. You're just trying to buy people's hearts. Am I right? When you go back to the Shen family, you'll be the rightful eldest daughter of the Shen family. And I'll become a joke. Aunt Rong, if it's you, how can you not hate me? Rong Junhan slammed on the brakes and stopped the car. Her eyes were filled with extreme anger. From now on we'll have to live in torment every day. After all, I can't suffer alone. There's one more thing I must tell you. Your father and I are getting married soon. So, from that day onwards, I'll be your mother in name. I'll do my best to take care of you. Muqiqi understood the meaning behind Rong Junhan's words. So she remained calm. I know you mind my existence, but I'm not a clay figurine. You can crush me easily. So, you came to see me off today just to declare war? I'm just telling you not to dream about things that you can never get. For example, fatherly love. You didn't get it when you were in the Mu family. You won't get it when you're in the Shen family. I won't give my enemy any chance to live. Don't you want to marry into the Shin family? I'll let you know that marrying into the Shin family is much harder than not marrying at all. Mu Chichi thought that Rong Junhan would pretend to be sincere. But now that she had revealed the truth, Mu Chichi felt more relaxed. Because she did not have to pretend anymore. If you think that I'm easy to bully, just come at me. Mu Chichi did not take Rong Junhan's warning to heart. When the time comes, don't go for wool and come home shorn. Don't lose what you already have. The military training will last for a week, right? I'll come and pick you up then. Of course, Rong Junhan did not care about Mu Chichi at all. She was just a little girl. But at that moment, Mu Chichi suddenly had a bold guess. The Mu family would not hide Mu Tongxue. So, who else could she be useful to? Chapter 153. Having come this far, Mu Chichi was no longer a naive person. She would pay more attention to everything. With that thought in mind, Mu Chichi sent a message to Xing Xiao before she entered the university. I suspect that Rong Junhan has hidden Mu Tongxue. I don't know what she wants to do. But she sent me to the university today and threatened me. Xing Xiao was about to board the plane at the airport. He would go abroad to deal with some business deals before Mu Chichi went to the military training. When he saw Mu Chichi's message, he noticed that it was not about Rong Junhan hiding Mu Tongxue. It was about Mu Chichi being threatened by Rong Junhan. Everyone knew how threatening Rong Junhan would be to Mu Chichi if she married into the Shin family. So, if Rong Junhan did not want to change her attitude towards Mu Chichi, then he could only let Rong Junhan marry into the Shin family fall through. Rong Junhan had taken good care of the Shin family all these years. But the Shin family had helped the Rong family through several crises. So it was hard to tell who owed whom. On the surface, Rong Junhan had done her best. She had a good reputation. But could she take care of Shin Jianchuan for so many years without any purpose? Previously, he had suspected that the timing of Shin Jianchuan waking up was too coincidental. However, if he wanted to investigate, it might take some time. Mu Chichi thought that Xing Xiao would not reply to her. She was about to call Qian. But Xing Xiao's reply was enough to make her laugh. Then threaten her. Can't you do that? What was Rong Junhan? Although Mu Tongxue's words were not pleasant, she was telling the truth. She was an outsider through and through. I know you love me. After replying, Mu Chichi scrolled to Qian's number. She could only think of the scene she saw last night. Mu Chichi's expression became much more serious. Hello, Chichi? Qian, I'm going to the military training soon. But there is something I want to tell you. Mu Chichi said awkwardly. She was afraid that she would hurt Qian. But at the same time, she was afraid that Qian would be fooled again. Tell me. I am listening. Xiao and I were at the revolving restaurant last night but before Mu Chichi could finish, Qian quickly interrupted her. I know what you want to say. Chichi, let's talk about it when you come back, okay? Now hurry up and go for your military training. Before Mu Chichi could ask anything else, Qian hung up the phone in a hurry. Her attitude was very strange. If that was the case, Qian must have known about Duan Xiao. If she knew that he was looking for other women, why did she still get engaged to him? They were friends and childhood sweethearts. Everything seemed to be perfect. However, Duan Xiao gave Mu Chichi the feeling that he was restless. But why would Qian tolerate Duan Xiao, and when she hated evil and her family was well off? She couldn't figure it out. But no matter what, this was someone else's business. No matter how worried she was, she could not go to Qian and ask her to break up. With that thought in mind, Mu Chichi turned around and entered the university. This was her path as a forensic doctor, and also her own choice. In fact, Qian did know about Duan Xiao, and as the engagement approached, more and more people told her that they saw Duan Xiao having sex with another woman. Therefore, after hanging up the phone with Mu Chichi, she really wanted to go to the Duan family and question Duan Xiao, and he had promised her that he would not flirt with other women. Why did he have to be so brazen when it was close to the engagement? Qian liked to stand up for others. But when things happened to her, she would show her cowardice and give in. It was not that Duan Xiao did not like her. She could feel it. But Duan Xiao preferred the colorful world outside. He liked young girls who did not need money. She knew that. But she had liked him for so many years. She had already accepted her fate. After the engagement, both of them would go abroad to study. This was the future she had envisioned. She could try to change Duan Xiao, and she thought she could influence him with love. But even Chichi could see Duan Xiao having an affair outside. At the end of the day, she was just an 18-year-old girl. She liked someone so much that she had no dignity. Forget it. She would endure it. After the engagement, she would be able to restrain Duan Xiao, and she knew it. At that moment, Mu Qiqi did not know what happened to her best friend, because she was about to enter the cruel military training. Of course, she was not surprised by Mu Tongshue's whereabouts. Rong Junhan had taken Mu Tongxue away. Moreover, Mu Tongxue was sent to her dance school. Mu Tongxue did not know Rong Junhan's intention, but she was afraid from the bottom of her heart, because she did not know what the young mistress of the Shin family would do to her. From today onwards, I want you to imitate Mu Qiqi. You must look exactly like her, from the way she speaks to her, even the way she walks. Mu Tongxue was shocked when she heard what Rong Junhan said. But we can totally tell each other apart from our appearance. All these can be faked. I want you to pretend to be Mu Qiqi in front of Jianchuan. You must ruin Mu Qiqi's image in his heart. I will arrange the time. But you have no other choice, because you have nowhere to go. Rong Junhan stared into Mu Tongshue's eyes. Don't you want revenge? Of course I want it. I want it even in my dreams. Then why are you hesitating? After this I will change your name. I will let you learn in my dance studio. I will give you a new life as long as you promise to pretend to be Mu Qiqi for me. Now that Mu Tongshue's everything was ruined, she needed a new life. And Rong Junhan's suggestion was too tempting. So, Mu Tongxue felt that she could not reject it. Are you sure you will succeed? Mu Qiqi is not easy to deal with now. No matter how difficult it is, she is just a little girl. But doesn't she have someone to teach her? It's just Grandpa Shin's trick. He knew that you're not a member of the Shin family. So he purposely taught Mu Qiqi a lesson. Do you really think that no one in the Shin family would care about a little girl other than Jingyun? Rong Junhan said arrogantly. Because in her heart, the Sheng family was just that arrogant. But she never thought that Mu Qiqi had Xing Xiao behind her back. And Xing Xiao would not care whose sister-in-law she was or whom she was indebted to. Chapter 154. Although Xing Xiao was abroad, he asked Jing Yun to keep an eye on the Shin family. He wanted to make Shin Jianchuan's doctor one of his own. Mu Qiqi guessed that Rong Junhan had hidden Mu Tongxue. Actually, he already knew it. Otherwise, he would not be the crown prince of Huangyao anymore. What else could he use Mu Tongxue for now? It was her face that looked similar to Mu Qiqi's. Not only did Xing Xiao want him to know about it, but he also wanted Grandpa Shin to know about it. So he asked Jing Yun to go to the Shin family to fish with Grandpa Shin. Old Shin, are you going to let Madame Rong marry into the Shin family? You should know what it means to Mu Qiqi if Madame Rong marries into the Shin family. We did not save Mu Qiqi just to let her escape from the wolf's den and enter the tiger's mouth. Grandpa Shin sneered while fishing. Why do you think I insisted on letting Mu Qiqi marry into the Shin family? Because I know that Rong Junhan has been trying to buy people's hearts all these years. She did take care of the Shin family. But what the Shin family gave her in return was to protect the Rong family from bankruptcy. So, I have never felt sorry for her. But we owe Mu Qiqi a lot. Old Shin, I know that Junhan will not accept Mu Qiqi. But Mu Qiqi is my granddaughter. It is natural for her to marry into the Shin family. No one can stop her. But young Master Shen and Madame Rong are getting married. Jing Yun reminded him. There is one more thing I should tell you. Mu Tongxue is missing. According to my guess, Madame Rong is the only one who is interested in Mu Tongxue now. If she tries to stir up trouble in front of young Master Shin, it will affect the relationship between Mu Qiqi and young Master Shin. After hearing this, Grandpa Shin turned around and looked at Jing Yun. Mu Tongxue is missing? Even the Sheng family couldn't find this person, vanishing without a trace in a single night. Isn't that enough to prove something? Grandpa Shin's eyes darkened. He put down his fishing rod and nodded. If it is true, Rong Junhan will not be able to marry into the Shin family. As for Jianchuan, I will tell him everything and ask him to be more careful. Don't worry. Jianchuan is different from Mu Qiqi's uncles. He has his own judgment. He will not be easily influenced. Then I am relieved. Miss Mu Qiqi is only going out for military training. I do not want her to come back. I do not want her to be bullied. Thank you, Jing Yun. With me and her father here, no one in this family can bully her. Jing Yun conveyed his message and left the Shin family. But he had reminded Grandpa Shin enough. Although Grandpa Shin had retired, he was not a fool. His mind was as clear as a mirror. Jianchuan could not speak. Jiu Jianchuan. Sheng of the Shin of the Shengzin of Jiu. Although Shin Jianchuan could not speak, he could feel that there was a gap between Grandpa Shin and the Shin family. So, Shin Jianchuan pinched Grandpa Shin's palm when the Shins were not around. Grandpa Shin understood his son's hint. He said, "Eldest brother, you must understand what I am going to say next. Mu Chichi has a twin sister. She is a member of the Mu family. She looks like Mu Chichi. This girl bullied Mu Chichi before. She even wanted to join the Shin family. She has gone missing recently. I suspect that Junhan has hidden her. I am telling you this so that you know what is going on. Mu Chichi has a pair of clear eyes. She is an unforgettable girl. She's a good girl." Shin Jianchuan did not know what happened between the Shin family and Rong Junhan. But he knew that Rong Junhan did not like Mu Chichi. So he nodded. "You have a daughter now. You must get well soon. Don't let a woman lead you by the nose. Junhan has been taking care of you for many years. But she is not without purpose. You should think about it yourself. I will not say much." Shin Jianchuan nodded again. There were some things that he did not understand. But he did not forget everything even though he had been asleep for more than 10 years. For example, how did Su Ziqing know that he was going to be engaged to Miss Rong that night? Who told Su Ziqing about it? Since you understand, I will not say much. I will bring Mu Chichi to see you when she comes back. At the mention of Mu Chichi, Shin Jianchuan's eyes lit up. His daughter was probably the biggest motivation for him to recover. At that moment, Mu Chichi was running with weights on the field with her classmates. Actually, there were not many girls who majored in forensic science. There were only a few girls who were cheated by the main characters in the dramas. They thought that forensic doctors were handsome and stylish. They were indeed stylish. But these girls did not seem to know what they were going to face next. Pathology, physiology, and anatomy were the most basic subjects. When they were in their second year, they would learn about parasites. Because the maggots on a corpse were also an important basis to determine the time of death. Mu Chichi had done a lot of homework. She was prepared to vomit a million times. But she could not bear to see her friends laughing happily. When she returned to the dormitory at night, Mu Chichi hid in the washroom and video called Xing Xiao. Knowing that he was in Germany, Mu Chichi could not help but miss him. "Xiao Xiao, I can't sleep when I am not in your arms." "Lack of love." Xing Xiao replied casually. "Who told you that?" Mu Chichi glared at him. Xing Xiao chuckled. He put down the document in his hand and said, "I will record a lullaby for you later. I will send it to you when I am done with my work." "Hurry up." Mu Chichi waited. After the video call ended, she squatted in the washroom and waited. After a while, Xing Xiao's voice came. But Mu Chichi laughed when she heard it. Because Xing Xiao was not singing a lullaby. He was singing Two Tigers. "Chichi, stop chatting with your boyfriend. I am going to pee." Mu Chichi walked out of the washroom with her phone in satisfaction when she heard her roommate's voice. "Chichi, can your boyfriend stand you being so clingy?" Another roommate asked her while cutting her nails. "He has a bad temper." But he had never lost his temper at her. "Let's introduce him next time." "Introduce the Crown Prince of Huangyao to you? You will be scared to death." Mu Chichi shook her head. "Let's wait for the next time." Petty? Mu Chichi did not care. She was petty to Xing Xiao. Everything that belonged to this man was hers. And it could only be hers. Holding her phone, Mu Chichi listened to Xing Xiao's song Two Tigers. Then she put on her earplugs and went to bed. There were still 5 days left. Why was time passing so slowly? Although it had only been 2 days, Shin Jianchuan already knew everything about Mu Chichi and the Mu family. He also knew that Rong Junhan had instigated the Shin family not to admit Mu Chichi's identity. His daughter. Chapter 155. In order to take care of Shin Jianchuan, Rong Junhan moved into the Shin family. Grandpa Shin could not say anything. After all, Rong Junhan was his eldest son's fiancée. She had taken care of his son for so many years. As a father, he should be grateful to her. Moreover, their wedding was coming soon. The Shin family was very happy about it, especially second brother's family. They were very happy when they knew that Rong Junhan was moving into the new house that was prepared for them many years ago. They not only supported her verbally, but also helped Rong Junhan to bring her luggage into the Shin family. "I'm old now. I can't care about you young people. But, Junhan, I only have one request. Chichi will always have a room and a seat in this house." "Father, Chichi is Jianchuan's daughter. I will definitely take good care of her." Only the Shin brothers believed in these words. "Father, eldest sister has always been fair. Are you afraid that she will bully Chichi? No one dares to touch Chichi when I'm alive. But what if I'm dead?" Grandpa Shin snorted. "I know you don't like Chichi. You don't have to pretend in front of me." "Father, isn't it good for Chi-Chi to stay in the Sheng family now? Second aunt Huang Yu chimed in. At most, when she comes back from military training, we, as her aunts, can't take care of her? Junhan, since you and Jianchuan have decided to hold the wedding earlier, you must make sure that Chi-Chi is well taken care of. You can't let my granddaughter suffer. I know, father. Shin Jianchuan needed a long time to recover. It would take at least a year and a half. To fulfill Rong Juanhan's wish, Shin Jianchuan agreed to hold the wedding earlier. But he might have to sit in a wheelchair at that time. This woman had been by his side for so many years. He should give Rong Junhan a title. Because he needed to find out the truth. If Rong Junhan was innocent, he would certainly treat her well. But if Rong Junhan had really done something that would harm others and herself, he certainly could not let her go so easily. Grandpa Shin was good at finding time to go to the hospital to avoid the Shin family and Rong Junhan. After all, Shin Jianchuan did not need anyone to take care of him 24/7. Therefore, this became the only chance for the father and son to have a heart-to-heart talk. There was no doubt that Grandpa Shing liked Mu Chi-Chi very much, especially when he talked about Mu Chi-Chi's college entrance examination. She had chosen forensic science with a score of more than 730 points. Grandpa Shing smiled. Whose granddaughter is she? Mine. Of course, it's also your daughter. He has the temper of our Shin family. Shin Jianchuan listened to her and felt shocked. He just did not expect Mu Tangxue to be so bold. Remembering that Mu Chi-Chi was going to university, he thought for a long time before mouthing to the old man, Dad, I want to give Mu Chi-Chi a present. What do you want to give her? Buy her a car, and let her drive it to school. It's a token of my sincerity as a father. The old man nodded and patted his son on the shoulder. Okay, I'll take care of it for you. Now, when Shin Jianchuan spoke, he was silent because he could not make a sound. He could only rely on his lips. Although, sometimes, Grandpa Shin might not understand. With Mu Chi-Chi around, you won't be lonely for the rest of your life. Shin Jianchuan nodded. His eyes were filled with hope. He was a father now. He wanted to protect his daughter. Especially when he heard that Mu Chi-Chi had suffered a lot in the Mu family. If Mu Tangxue was really hidden by Rong Junhan and wanted to stir up trouble, he would definitely teach her a lesson. Although he could not move freely, he was still conscious. Moreover, he believed that he could recover 70 to 80% of a normal person after his recovery. While Mu Chi-Chi was still in school, the Shin family started to prepare for Rong Junhan and Shin Jianchuan's wedding. But when they talked about Mu Chi-Chi, they had different opinions. This is your and eldest brother's wedding. Is it necessary to introduce Mu Chi-Chi to everyone? There will be hundreds of people there. What will they think of you and eldest brother? Huang Yu helped Rong Junhan to choose the wedding items outside. In my opinion, she shouldn't come to such an important event. Dad will not agree. What's the use if Dad disagrees? This is your and eldest brother's wedding. You should make your own decisions. Huang Yu sighed. Even if it's for the sake of the Shin family, I can't be too stubborn. Do you really think it's better not to let Mu Chi-Chi attend the wedding? It's fine if Mu Chi-Chi is the daughter of that woman. But they are twins. Moreover, they have the same mother but different father. What will people think? Rong Junhan nodded. Of course, she did not want to embarrass herself. I will make the arrangements. I will let her attend the wedding too. But whether she can attend the wedding is none of my business, said Rong Junhan solemnly. Her previous arrangement was clearly for Grandpa Shin's sake. Moreover, she could see that Shin Jianchuan liked his daughter very much. But he could not do anything. He could not say anything. So, it was up to her to make the decision. Did she want that woman's child to attend her wedding? Not even thinking about it? Sigh. Mu Chi-Chi will be back tomorrow, right? Sister-in-law, are you going to fetch her? Of course, said Rong Junhan. Huang Yu was a woman. Moreover, she was a mother. Rong Junhan had been serving the Shin family for so many years. She did not get married or have a child. How could she not feel sad when she saw that? So, even if Rong Junhan wanted to do something outrageous, Huang Yu felt that it was reasonable. Although she could not hate Mu Chi-Chi, she was still willing to stand on Rong Junhan's side. But would Mu Chi-Chi care about Rong Junhan's appearance in school? Mu Chi-Chi had been missing Xing Xiao for 7 days. She just wanted to see Xing Xiao as soon as possible. She did not want to have more contact with Rong Junhan. And when Xing Xiao came back from abroad, the first thing he did was to go to Xingting University to fetch Mu Chi-Chi. Mu Chi-Chi walked out of the school immediately after school. She found Xing Xiao's car and got in it quietly. When they passed the familiar junction, Mu Chi-Chi lay on Xing Xiao's body and did not let go. Xiao Xiao, I miss you so much. How can I drive if you hug me like this? Xing Xiao chuckled. You don't know how I survived the last 5 days with the help of 2 tigers. It was so hard. Mu Qiqi hugged Xing Xiao's arm. But she did not hug him so tightly that it would affect his driving. You have tanned. Xing Xiao lowered his head and looked at Mu Qiqi. You felt sorry for her. But you are healthier. You should practice more. Otherwise, you will beg for mercy in the middle of the night. Why are you talking about this now? Mu Qiqi pouted and asked. Chapter 156. Shouldn't they have gotten married a long time ago? It dragged on for so many years. When Mu Qiqi talked about this matter, her eyes were clearly emotionless. She did not think that this was within her jurisdiction. But I don't want her to marry into the Shen family. Because of me? Mu Qiqi asked in surprise. Not just because of that. There are many things about this woman that are suspicious. So, it might not be a good thing for everyone in the Shen family if she marries into the Shen family. Of course, I don't care about other people's business. But I can't ignore it as long as it's about you, Xing Xiao answered. Mu Qiqi nodded. The grievance she felt after being exposed to the sun for 7 days was gone. Xiao Xiao, you have done many things for me since the day we met. But I have never done anything for you. You still have many things to do for me. Why do you fight with me? Xing Xiao said meaningfully. Did his little one not know that she was going to have children in the future? Rong Junhan's car arrived at the school gate soon after they left. But Rong Junhan did not get her as she wished. Then she called Mu Qiqi. Where are you? I'm at the gate of your school. I'm sorry, Aunt Rong. I'm already home. Mu Qiqi answered directly. I told you before I sent you there that I would come and get you. Rong Junhan sounded like she was blaming her. Because she hated it when people didn't take her words seriously and took them to heart. I didn't agree. Then Mu Qiqi hung up. She dared to go against Rong Junhan. The reason why Rong Junhan was so proactive was not only because she wanted to show Grandpa Shin but also because she had installed a camera in her car. She wanted to record Mu Qiqi's every move so that Mu Tongxue could imitate her. If Mu Qiqi did not interact with her, how could Mu Tongxue imitate her perfectly? After all, Mu Tongxue had too little material in her hands now. Now, it seemed that Mu Qiqi was not just difficult to control. Her rebellious nature was very obvious. She was just an 18-year-old girl. Could she do anything? That was right. Sheng Zhao's little one had been on the national news. Wasn't she going to turn the world upside down? Sheng Xiao laughed when he saw Mu Qiqi hanging up on Rong Junhan's call. My cheer has grown a lot. The Shen family loves her so much. How dare you hang up on her? It's good enough that I hung up on her. I won't pick up her call next time. Mu Qiqi put away her phone and continued to hold Sheng Zhao's hand. The two of them returned to the small villa together. But, what surprised Mu Qiqi was that Su Zipei was still in class and had not returned home. In order to be worthy of Mu Qiqi and Lu Wenhua, Su Zipei had been improving herself every day. Forget it, Xiao Xiao. Take a seat. I'm going to take a shower. It's too uncomfortable to wear this camouflage uniform. With that, Mu Qiqi went upstairs. Xing Xiao followed behind her. He liked the camouflage uniform she was wearing. Since Su Zipei was not here, he would let him have a good meal first. So, when Mu Qiqi opened the door, Xing Xiao carried her on his shoulder and put her on the big bed in her room. Mu Qiqi was startled. She quickly resisted. I'm dirty. I've even jogged after school. Next time, put on a white coat and show me. Xing Xiao did not mind what she said at all. Moreover, there was a faint fragrance on her body. It was the unique smell of a young girl. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi. He missed her more. So, Mu Qiqi did not struggle anymore. She said to Xing Xiao, let's go to the bathroom. Xing Xiao carried her into the bathroom. Then he put her on the washstand. Mu Qiqi was wearing the camouflage uniform. She had the sunshine and beauty of youth. It made people want to get close to her. Xiao Xiao, I miss you. After saying that, Mu Qiqi started to sing the song Two Tigers. Xing Xiao could not hold back anymore. He grabbed her neck, pulled her to him and kissed her. But just as they kissed passionately, Su Zipei returned to the little mansion. She knocked on Mu Qiqi's door. Qiqi, are you back? Although it was no secret to Su Zipei that they were living together, wouldn't she die of embarrassment if Aunt Zipei saw them being so intimate? Xing Xiao seemed to read her mind. He deliberately bit her lips to stop her from making a sound. Mu Qiqi was so anxious that she almost cried out. Su Zipei saw that Mu Qiqi did not respond. Then she saw Xing Zhao's car downstairs. She guessed what was going on in the house. So she tactfully went downstairs. Mu Qiqi quickly pushed Xing Xiao away when she heard the footsteps getting further away. It's too embarrassing if Aunt Zipei finds out. She already knows anyway. Why not continue? With that, Xing Xiao did not wait for Mu Qiqi to resist. He gave her a solid bath. However, he did not use the water in the bathroom. When they went downstairs 2 hours later, Mu Qiqi had already taken a bath. Xing Xiao looked refreshed as if nothing had happened. Dinner is ready. Come and eat. Su Zipei greeted them. Aunt Zipei. Mu Qiqi was a little embarrassed. I will go to Wenhua tonight. You can stay here or go home. It's up to you. Su Zipei deliberately avoided the topic. I have classes tonight. You and Uncle Lu? He is not feeling well these few days. I will take care of him there. Su Zipei explained. Mu Qiqi smiled and nodded. I know. Go ahead. Don't worry about us. I have also made some chicken soup. If you are going to the hospital, please bring it to your father. I am in a hurry. So I have to go now. Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao when she mentioned the hospital. She hung up on Rong Junhan today. She did not know what Rong Junhan was going to say in front of her father. Will father believe what Rong Junhan said? Won't we know when we visit him tonight? Xing Xiao leaned back on the chair and answered. He looked lazy. He seemed very confident. Why don't we make a bet? Moreover, they're getting married soon. Rong Junhan must not want me to attend their wedding, right? I am a stain to her. You won't go if she doesn't want you to go? Xing Xiao lowered his head and looked into Mu Qiqi's eyes. You are not that obedient. But let's see if the wedding can be carried out first. Xing Xiao picked up the bowl and chopsticks. He put Mu Qiqi's favorite dish in her bowl. Hurry up and eat. Let's go to the hospital. Are you going to show yourself? Xing Xiao shook his head. It's not time yet. Chapter 157. Mu Qiqi nodded. She totally understood Xing Xiao's concern. The Shin family was trying to ostracize her now. If they knew that she was with Xing Xiao, they might try to separate them. After all, they were one generation apart. After dinner, Xing Xiao sent Mu Qiqi to the hospital. At that moment, second aunt Huang Yu and Rong Junhan were there. When they saw Mu Qiqi at the door of the ward, their faces darkened. But they did not stop her because it was meaningless to stop her now. It was just that Huang Yu had just told Xin Jianchuan that Mu Qiqi did not know what was good for her. Now she was here in person. She felt a little ashamed of being caught red-handed. Mu Qiqi could feel the atmosphere in the ward. But she kept her composure. She put the chicken soup in front of Xin Jianchuan's bed and sat down in front of him. When Xin Jianchuan saw that his daughter was here, his eyes instantly lit up and he became energetic. Dad. Mu Qiqi felt awkward when she said that. So she said, we've only met a few times. I'm not used to calling you that. Xin Jianchuan wanted to grab Mu Qiqi immediately after he heard that. Mu Qiqi understood. She held Xin Jianchuan's skinny left hand. What do you want to say to me? Qiqi, your Aunt Rong went to pick you up in the afternoon. Why did you leave alone? Do you know that your Aunt Rong waited for you in the school for 3 hours? Second aunt took the opportunity to interrupt the interaction between the father and daughter. Do you not respect your elders at all? Did the Mu family only teach you this? Mu Qiqi wanted to say something when she heard Huang Yu's question. But Xin Jianchuan pinched the back of her hand. It was just a small movement. But Mu Qiqi could feel that Xin Jianchuan supported her. He was on her side. So, she turned her head and looked at Huang Yu. Second aunt, are you good at making things difficult for the younger generation? What nonsense are you talking about? Otherwise, why would you stop me from seeing my father again and again? Why would you talk bad about me in front of him? Mu Qiqi asked Huang Yu in a serious tone. Huang Yu shook her head. That's right. That's because your family did not teach you to respect your elders. Respecting the elders doesn't mean following blindly. If the elders told me to kill someone, would I do it? I know you don't like me because I blocked Auntie Rong's way and ruined the relationship between Auntie Rong and Dad. But I'm also a person of flesh and blood. I can't let you hurt me like this again and again. You have a sharp tongue. Second aunt could not win against Mu Qiqi in an argument, so she could only mock and snort coldly. Xin Jianchuan pinched Mu Qiqi's palm again, as if reminding Mu Qiqi not to deliberately pay attention to Huang Yu. If she did that, she would not let go. No matter how bad my upbringing is, I won't go overboard and meddle in other people's family affairs. Huang Yu didn't know how to refute, so she stood aside sulkily. Mu Qiqi finally got some peace and quiet. Only then could she talk to Xin Jianchuan properly. You went for military training. You're a little tanned but you're healthier now. Xin Jianchuan nodded. I brought you some chicken soup. Would you like some? Xin Jianchuan nodded again when he heard that. He could not even eat a single bite of the food that Rong Junhan had prepared just now. It was a slap to his face. Eldest brother, you're too much. Mu Chichi did not care about them. She scooped up the chicken soup and gave it to Xin Jianchuan. Was that not enough to explain the problem? Xin Jianchuan had been standing by his daughter's side since the beginning. Huang, you don't say any more. Rong Junhan quietly kept the thermos and held it in her hand. It's rare for your eldest brother to see his daughter. Let them get to know each other better. Are we leaving just like that? Huang Yu was not satisfied. Mu Chichi only felt relieved when she saw them leaving the ward. She said to Xin Jianchuan, Father, you must get well soon. Otherwise I will continue to be bullied. Mu Chichi said it in a coquettish manner. After all, when did she suffer any losses? Xin Jianchuan drank the chicken soup and nodded. He would definitely recover as soon as possible. So, he did not just ask Grandpa Shen for the treatment in the hospital. He also asked Grandpa Shen to look for a specialist from abroad. It was all so that he could hug his daughter as soon as possible. Mu Chichi knew that Xin Jianchuan was not a bad person. He would not be like Papa Mu. So, she was relieved and decided to open up to her father. Of course, that was excluding the matter of her being with Sheng Xiao. I will accompany you today. Xin Jianchuan was already satisfied with that. After a while, Mu Chichi left the hospital. Xin Jianchuan called the nurse over and mouthed to her that he wanted to see Grandpa Shen. His daughter's position in the Shen family was so bad. As a father, he felt sorry for her. So, he had to do something for his daughter. After Mu Chichi left the hospital, she went back to Xing Xiao's car. But when Xing Xiao saw Rong Junhan and second aunt leaving, he knew that Cheer must be in a difficult situation. Did she teach you a lesson? I don't eat at her house. Why should I endure her lesson? Mu Chichi answered. I'm just worried that father can't move. So Aunt Rong will take care of him. She is your father's fiancée in name. If you want her not to be his fiancée, you must find her fault. Xing Xiao said meaningfully while driving. Do you have any idea? Let's go back and talk. Xing Xiao stared at his little one. Didn't I tell you before that the timing of your father's awakening was too coincidental? So, I asked Jing Yun to look up your father's information in the hospital. There is nothing suspicious about him waking up. But I found something else. Something else. Mu Chichi was excited. The two of them sped up and went home. They wanted to figure out what was going on. But they received a call from Grandpa Shen. Chichi, I am at the villa. Why are you not back from the hospital yet? Mu Chichi turned around and looked at Xing Xiao. It's Grandpa. Xing Xiao heard that and turned around immediately. He sent Mu Chichi to the entrance of the villa. Mu Chichi entered the villa and saw Grandpa Shen standing in front of a brand new car. He waved at her. Come and have a look. Grandpa, this is? This is a gift from your father. Grandpa Shen passed the car key to Mu Chichi. You can drive it to school. Wow, Grandpa, this is too ostentatious. And I don't know how to drive. Mu Chichi did not know whether to laugh or cry. This is your father's gift. You must accept it no matter what. Grandpa Shen was happy because he could still do something for his son. Mu Chichi took a deep breath and nodded. I can accept it. But the Shen family has something to say. Your father bought it with his money? Who dares to object? Grandpa, I went to the hospital to visit father today. I felt a little uneasy. Second aunt is also Aunt Rong's woman. I am worried that father will not be well taken care of. Chapter 158. Grandpa Mu was a military man. So, he liked cars with a lot of space. It was a little exaggerated for a petite Mu Chichi to drive such a car. But Mu Chichi was still happy because it was a cool car. Grandpa Mu was satisfied when he saw Mu Chichi being so happy. Your father asked me to go to the hospital. I'll go now. I'll teach you how to drive sometime. Mu Chichi smiled. She had the best driver. She didn't need Grandpa Mu to teach her. After Grandpa Mu left, Xing Xiao entered the small villa. When he saw the car, he crossed his arms and said, Your grandfather is really generous. It's a pity that I don't know how to drive. I know how to drive a lot of cars. But I don't know which one you want to learn. Mu Chichi blushed. She knew that he was implying something. But she passed him the car key. Let's go home first. Tell me what you found. I can't wait. They drove the new car home. Xing Xiao brought Mu Chichi into the study. He took out the documents Jing Yun sent. This is the copy of all the documents after your father was hospitalized. It includes the diagnosis of his injuries. Mu Chichi quickly opened the documents. But she couldn't understand the professional terms. Just tell me. Xing Xiao turned her body and told her face to face. To put it simply, your father was indeed seriously injured at that time. There were many injuries on his body, but those injuries were not the main cause of your father becoming a vegetable. The main reason why he became a vegetable is because of the impact. He was injured twice. There was a 2-hour gap between the two injuries. You mean it was not done by the same group of people? Mu Chichi understood what Xing Xiao meant. If you were the one who hit him, would you hit him 2 hours later? Mu Chichi shook her head. Most importantly, this diagnosis was taken from the discarded documents. In other words, the second collision injury was concealed. If it was done by the group of people who hurt your father, why would they hide it? Mu Chichi's expression darkened. Is someone related to my father? They were afraid that he would know. That's why they hid it. But the doctor who gave the diagnosis had left the hospital a long time ago. So I asked Jing Yun to find the person and find out the truth. You already have a suspect in your heart, right? Why did Rong Junhan stay by your father's side all these years? Was it really because of love? Or was it because he was afraid that the secret would be revealed? No one knows. Xing Xiao closed the file and answered Mu Chichi, all in all, the more I investigate this woman, the more interesting she becomes. Xiao, you're really amazing. Mu Chichi put her arms around Xing Xiao's neck. Is this the first day you know how powerful I am? This man loved to say things with hidden meanings. Moreover, they were all dirty jokes. It was really irresistible. Want to learn how to drive? Mu Chichi nodded at his question. Are you going to teach him now? But it's already late at night. I'll teach you now. With that, he carried Mu Chichi straight to the bedroom, not giving her any chance to react. Mu Chichi was stunned for a moment. Then she understood. This man was really, she was too naive just now. When Grandpa Shin arrived at the hospital, he met his son. From him, he knew that Huang Yu had made things difficult for Mu Chichi today. Father, there are no rules in the house now. From now on, Huang Yu does not need to appear in my ward. Shin Jianchuan spent a lot of effort to tell Grandpa Shin. Grandpa Shin nodded his head. Are you taking revenge for your daughter? She is still your granddaughter. Grandpa Shin never asked about the affairs of the Shin family. He never intervened in the fight between second and third daughter-in-law. But this time Huang Yu did something to Xiao Qiqi. She was eldest brother's favorite. How could he allow it? Since Shin Jianchuan had spoken, it would be much easier to settle the matter. Don't worry. You won't be able to see her tomorrow. Also, when I sent the card to Qiqi just now, she told me that you can't move around freely now. She is worried about your safety. She is worried that you might be controlled by someone. How could the father and son not care about that? Little girl, you are quite meticulous. It was Jing Yun who taught you. How was it Jing Yun who taught her? It was clearly Xing Xiao who taught her step by step. After receiving his son's request, Grandpa Shin returned to the Shin family. While everyone was still awake, he summoned the Shin family to the front hall. I asked you to come here so late because I have an arrangement. From tomorrow onwards, only Junhan will take care of the 2 daughters-in-law in the hospital. Don't go to eldest brother's ward. Father, why? Huang Yu asked quickly. You made things difficult for his daughter in front of him. Do you think you can do whatever you want just because he can't say a word? Grandpa Shin said to Huang Yu sternly, in order to keep eldest brother happy, don't go around in front of him. Save your kindness for the future. Huang Yu looked at Grandpa Shin. Huang Yu was upset. She leaned on her husband's arm unwillingly. But second elder could not do anything about it. Let's listen to father. I am afraid that father is acting on his own. Unfortunately, Grandpa Shin heard what she said. So he turned around and sneered. If you don't believe me, you can go to the hospital tomorrow. I don't care if you are kicked out. Huang Yu was unwilling. But she had to give up. Although she was worried about her sister-in-law, she had offended eldest brother. She was stuck in a dilemma. You all know what kind of person eldest brother is. Although his body is broken now, he is still conscious. Some people should not do things that are difficult and unrewarding. Compared to Huang Yu, third aunt was much more low-key after she was humiliated that day. Because she knew that the people around her hated her very much. Now, she was very happy to see second elder being humiliated. Huang Yu was jumping up and down. But she was not allowed to enter the ward because of Shin Jianchuan's words. She was really happy. Everyone could see that Shin Jianchuan was taking revenge for Mu Qiqi, including Rong Junhan. Of course, she did not know that Xing Xiao had asked Jing Yun to investigate her secretly. If they could find the evidence, the marriage would come to an end. She did not expect that Xin Jianchuan could come up with so many ideas even though he could not speak. In order to protect that woman's child, Xin Jianchuan did not care about her for so many years. He was really heartless. It was okay. She did not have the absolute right to speak now. She would wait until she married into the Shen family. Then she would settle the scores with Grandpa Shen and Mu Qiqi. Chapter 159. Although she was not sure, she was sure that the girl who kissed Duan Xiao and in the revolving restaurant that night was very similar to this girl. Especially her side profile. She did not know what Qian was thinking after she called her that day. She did not even know when she would get engaged. Mu Qiqi had mixed feelings when she thought about it. What surprised Mu Qiqi even more was that Qian was already engaged. She was like a snail, hiding in her shell and deceiving herself. She did not listen to anyone's advice. She did not even tell anyone who saw Duan Xiao, Anne's affair. She just got engaged because she did not want to cause any more trouble. Mu Qiqi did not take the initiative to contact Qian. It was because she felt that although she did not do anything wrong with Duan Xiao, and it was too much for Qian. So, it was reasonable that Qian did not want to contact her. She thought about the last days in Eton. She and Qian were so carefree. Why did they have to bear more and more pain when they were adults and entered university? She was hurt by Mu Tongxue. Then she lost her mother. She had experienced the biggest change in her life. To confirm her guess, Mu Qiqi deliberately paid attention to the girls' department and classroom. She even saw the girls' dormitory. But she saw the girl driving a black car and driving past the school road more than once. After school, Mu Qiqi told Xing Xiao about it. I think Qian and I can't go back to the past. Of course. She did not tell you that she is engaged. Xing Xiao told her frankly. She is engaged? Xing Xiao nodded. The aristocratic circle was not small, but it was not big either. Mu Qiqi didn't say anything more, but she looked disappointed. Everyone had their own life, and she didn't have the right to criticize Qian's decision. Duan Xiao, Anne's lover, is in Xingting University. She does not want to wake up. It is useless for you to be anxious. Mu Qiqi sighed. That was all she could do. She thought that the relationship between her and Qian had come to an end. But she did not expect that Qian would contact her 2 days later. Qiqi, are you free? I want to meet you. Yes. Mu Qiqi quickly replied. So, after class, Mu Qiqi texted Xing Xiao and told him that she would go to the cafe and come home later. The engaged Qian had indeed matured. But Mu Qiqi did not see a smile on her face anymore. Qiqi, actually I know. Mu Qiqi interrupted her. Although I don't know why. I'm pregnant. Qian did not wait for Mu Qiqi to finish her sentence and dropped a bomb on her. Duan Xiaoan's child. Then, you can just get married. But I found out that he was still in contact with that woman. Qian held the cup, her tears falling. I'm only 18 years old, but I've already given up everything for him. I've done everything I can for him, everything I should have done for him. But in the end I realized that men are really cheap. They like things that they can't get. Do your parents know about this? Yes. Qian nodded. But Qiqi, I really don't know what to do now. Mu Qiqi looked at Qian. She did not know what she had gone through in such a short time. I don't know how to persuade you now. I don't know if this child is important to you or not. Do you want it or not? I just want to say one thing. Duan Xiao, and is definitely not someone you can entrust your life to. After Qian heard that, she seemed to have made up her mind. I want the child. It's a life after all. But you're only 18 years old. I've made up my mind. I'll tell him. Mu Qiqi did not know what Qian was planning. Although her family did not lack money, Qian was still so young. Although the child was legitimate, Mu Qiqi always felt that she was shouldering something that she should not be shouldering at her age. Mu Qiqi was very touched when she saw Qian like this. She fell into Xing Xiao's arms when they got home and did not say a word. Xing Xiao hugged the little one and touched her forehead. Are you sick? Where does it hurt? Mu Qiqi thumped her chest. She was speechless. My heart aches. Xiao Qian is pregnant. But that scumbag is still fooling around outside. If your friend doesn't wake up, it's useless no matter what you say or do. Mu Qiqi knew that too. I just feel sad. Fortunately, you and Duan Xiao and are not the same type of person. You are the person who treats me the best in the world. Xing Xiao looked at Mu Qiqi and smiled. He did not care about her anymore. No one could say anything about Chan Chan because she did not want to admit it. Jing Yun has made some progress in the investigation. Do you want to know? What progress? Mu Chichi quickly poked her head out of his arms. Jing Yun found the doctor. He was fired by the hospital director because he did not want to change the conclusion and hide the fact that your father was hit by a car. Who was the person who hit my father? I'm afraid we have to look for the hospital director again. He is the answer to all the questions. Mu Chichi lay on Xing Zhao's body. She looked into his deep and dark eyes. Her heart was deeply attracted to them. Xing Zhao saw her sticking out her butt like a kitten. He slapped her little round butt. Are you seducing me? Mu Chichi quickly put down her butt. No. But I feel that your posture just now made my heart itch. Xing Zhao said and hugged Mu Chichi tightly. Little one, don't you know that a man who has sex is the one you should not mess with? But if we do this every night, will I be like Chan Chan? When did I not take precautions? Xing Zhao asked her confidently. Not every man likes to abuse a woman's body. At least I can't wait to love your body. Abortion is too harmful to a woman. It will be a shadow for the rest of her life. How did you know? For you, I read the physiological data that only women read. Ungrateful little one. Xing Zhao said disdainfully. I'll take you to take a bath. Mu Chichi nodded and wrapped her arms around Xing Zhao's neck in satisfaction, letting him carry her to the bathroom. It was no wonder. Xing Zhao was the one who knew her body the best. He knew better than she did when her period was. It seemed that ever since she had Xiao Xiao, she no longer remembered those days. Moreover, Xing Zhao would often ask her to make medicinal cuisine that was beneficial to a girl's body, because he knew that Mu Chichi needed nourishment. She was a little thin and he liked her to be healthy. Xiao Xiao, when Special Assistant Jing comes back you must tell me. I want to know the result as soon as possible. Chapter 160. But even so, I still want to live with a clear conscience. Mu Chichi smiled at him. You're asking for it. Xing Zhao looked at Mu Chichi from above. His handsome face was right in front of her. But it's a coincidence that I too. I'll teach you how to drive someday. You're my woman. How can you not know how to drive? I know, Mu Chichi answered softly. If you know, then lie down and take a bath. What about you? Mu Chichi asked naively. You take a bath and I'll take a bath with you. The next day Rong Junhan went to the hospital alone. Shen Jianchuan was determined not to let Huang Yu appear in his ward. He wanted to stand up for Mu Chichi but Rong Junhan was not happy about it. Jianchuan, I know you want a daughter. But we've been together for so many years. I don't want us to be estranged because of this. Can't you let me handle Mu Chichi's matter? Mu Chichi is your daughter. Do you think I can bear to mistreat her? Moreover, I can't take care of you every day. If Huang Yu doesn't come to help, should I let Mu Chichi do it? Rong Junhan sat beside Shen Jianchuan and fed him breakfast after she reached the ward. But she put the porridge into Shen Jianchuan's mouth. Maybe she was taking revenge on him. But she still put the porridge into his mouth. Shen Jianchuan could not stand it anymore. He spat it out. Rong Junhan pretended that Shen Jianchuan was difficult to serve. She made others think that Shen Jianchuan was deliberately making things difficult for her. Jianchuan, what's wrong? It's hot. Shen Jianchuan said with difficulty. I'm sorry. I was too focused when I talked to you. I felt wronged. So, I didn't take care of you. Rong Junhan was good at playing tricks. She would make Shen Jianchuan suffer a little. But she did not do it deliberately. Then she blew on the porridge and put it into Shen Jianchuan's mouth. It was as if she wanted to see Shen Jianchuan relying on her. That would make her feel better. Shen Jianchuan could stand up for Mu Chichi. Then she would vent her anger on him. He was just a good-for-nothing now. Huang Yu stood at the door and watched. She did not dare to enter the ward. She was angry when she saw Rong Junhan being troubled by Shen Jianchuan. Her sister-in-law had done so much for the family. Not only was he not grateful but he was also torturing her like this. As his sister-in-law she felt very upset. How would she know about Rong Junhan's trick? However, Shen Jianchuan still had a backup plan. He did not expose Rong Junhan now because he owed her a favor. But it did not mean that Shen Jianchuan would accept it blindly. He would tell Grandpa Shen all the details. And when Grandpa Shen heard it, he would certainly be angry. What is she trying to do? Since they want to take care of you, why would they play these little tricks to torture you? It's all because I'm a cripple now, Shen Jianchuan answered. After hearing this, the old man felt a little sad. I'll get a nurse to look after her. I'm sure she won't be able to do anything else. Thanks, Dad. Such a woman has bewitched your sisters-in-law. Grandpa Shin patted his knee and sighed. I'm afraid they can't forgive her for taking care of you for more than 10 years. My sisters-in-law will understand it sooner or later. Understand? Grandpa Shin smiled meaningfully. If Rong Junhan was lying to them, it would not be easy to understand some things. I don't dare to let her into the Shin family when she is like this. It was not only because Rong Junhan was afraid of Mu Chichi. It was also because this woman was very cunning. I was blind in the past. If I knew it earlier, I would have agreed with you and Su Ziqing. Things would not have happened today. But Shin Jianchuan could understand Grandpa Shin's bitterness after he woke up from his sleep for so many years. How could he blame Grandpa Shin now? Especially now that he had Mu Chichi. It was all the love of a parent. Jing Yun was still investigating Rong Junhan. He wanted to get a result before Rong Junhan and Shin Jianchuan's wedding. But Xing Xiao did not tell Grandpa Shin about Shin Jianchuan being injured twice. Otherwise, if the result of the investigation was different from what he expected, the Shin family would be in a mess. However, as long as there was no conclusion to this matter, Mu Chichi would be on tenterhooks. She was afraid that wolves, tigers, and leopards would be by her father's side. There was another thing that worried Mu Chichi too. It was Qianqian's health. She was pregnant at the age of 18, but she still insisted on giving birth to the child. How much courage did she need? In between classes, Mu Chichi really wanted to call Qianqian to ask about it. But before Qianqian could call, someone she did not expect came looking for her. Are you Lu Qianqian's good friend? On the way out of class, Mu Chichi was stopped by someone. It was a girl who was dressed very fashionably. Needless to say, she was Duan Xiao, Anne's new favorite. My name is Bai Xinlan. I have heard a lot about you. I know you have been observing me for a long time. Mu Chichi looked at her and asked, what do you want to do? I want to talk about your good friend. Lu Qianqian, are you free? I don't think you should come to me. Mu Chichi replied. No matter how good your reason is, no matter how much you love Duan Xiao, and it is not a reason to hurt Qianqian. The girl smiled. I know my family is not as good as Lu Qianqian's, but I have the right to love freely, right? Moreover, they are not married yet. But they are engaged. I want you to persuade your friend. How can she be a mother at the age of 18? Don't think that you can control Duan Xiao, and just because you gave birth to his child. Even if it is not me, Lu Qianqian will not be able to control Duan Xiao, and you have said a lot of nonsense. I agree with you. However, I will not make a decision for Qianqian. After saying that, Mu Chichi walked past Bai Xinlan and left her far behind. Bai Xinlan took a deep breath and smiled. Why would anyone like a scumbag like Duan Xiao, and don't think that I will give up on Duan Xiao, and I don't need Duan Xiao, and but I need fame and money. Bai Xinlan wanted Mu Chichi to persuade Qianqian to abort the child. She did not want to control Duan Xiao, and but how could she say that to Qianqian? But since Bai Xinlan knew about it, it meant that Duan Xiao and already knew about Qianqian's pregnancy. Chapter 161. After class, Mu Chichi could not help but call Qianqian. How are you feeling today? Chichi, I don't think I am good at all. Qianqian was sobbing. I went for a checkup today. The doctor said that the baby is not in the right position. I might not be able to keep it. You are still so young. You will have a baby in the future. Mu Chichi felt sorry for her. But Xiao, and will not come back without a baby. After hearing this, Mu Chichi remembered that Duan Xiao, and came to the school to pick up Bai Xinlan. She snorted. Qianqian, can you stop lying to yourself? Chichi, can you stop scolding me and support me? Mu Chichi took a deep breath and nodded. Okay. Which hospital are you in? I will go and see you. I have gone home. We will meet again another day. Mu Chichi was very angry. But she could not do anything. It was Qianqian's problem. What could she say? After returning to the small mansion, Mu Chichi stared at the medical book in a daze. Su Zipei saw her and asked, What's wrong? You look dejected. And I am just thinking about how terrible it would be for a woman to love the wrong person. Because of Qianqian? Su Zipei could guess it. This child is not bad. Her family background and status are all top-notch. Why does she have to stick to one tree? She is pregnant now. How old is she? Then Mu Chichi looked at Su Zipei and asked, You don't seem to worry about me at all. Why should I worry about you? I believe in young Master Sheng. Don't be fooled by the rumors about him. He is more sensitive and meticulous than anyone else. He would never allow what happened to Qianqian to happen to you. Su Zipei snorted. You don't know how good of a man you have met. I know. It's good that you know. As for Chanshan, you don't have time to worry about her. Then Su Zipei thought of something important. Chi-Chi, what is it? Why are you so serious? I am going to register my marriage with your Uncle Lu. Su Zipei said embarrassedly. He proposed to me. That's a good thing. When is the wedding? We don't plan to be extravagant. Let's just have a simple family dinner. Su Zipei smiled happily. It's because of you that I can find new happiness. Chi-Chi, you are my lucky star. Auntie, if it wasn't for you taking care of me, who knows what would have happened to me? I also hope that you are well. After that, they hugged each other tightly. Mu Chi-Chi was happy that Su Zipei could find her own happiness again. Although she wanted to see her aunt get married, Lu Wenhua was not a luxurious person. So she just let them be. Now she had fulfilled one of her wishes. However, just as they were discussing if they should hold a small ceremony, Chanshan called. Chi-Chi, are you free? Can you accompany me somewhere? I don't know who to look for now. I'll be right there. Mu Chi-Chi hung up and called Sheng Xiao. But Sheng Xiao was in the middle of a business meeting, so he did not pick up the call. Mu Chi-Chi looked for Chanshan first. She helped her up. Why do you look so haggard? Chi-Chi, I know where they are staying. Come with me. Are you saying that you are going to look for Duan Xiao and An by Xinlan? Chanshan nodded. I called Xiao and in the afternoon and told him about the baby. But he did not say anything. I guess he is with that woman, so why must you meet him? There are some things that I will only give up after I hear it with my own ears. Chanshan answered Mu Chi-Chi seriously. Come with me. Let's go. Mu Chi-Chi nodded. Because she did not know what else she could do for Chanshan. Although Chanshan was still smiling and talking normally, Mu Chi-Chi knew that Chanshan did not have anything to support her now. The two of them took the car to the apartment that Chanshan had mentioned. She successfully found the house number that she had inquired about. Is it here? Chanshan nodded and rang the doorbell. After a while, Duan Xiaoan, who was wearing home clothes, opened the door. Bai Xinlan, who was also wearing pajamas, followed behind him. Why are you here? You didn't tell me about the baby. Didn't I say that it's up to you? Duan Xiaoan's attitude was cold. There was even impatience in his eyes. You can have the baby if you want. Anyway, both our families can afford it. But let me be frank. I will not help you. Have you no pride? You can still be so calm when you see your fiancé with another woman. I am impressed. Bai Xinlan snorted unhappily. You are almost like a teenage mutant ninja turtle now. Xiao, and you have promised me that you will not contact other women. It's not like you don't know how playful I am. Do you want me to hang on to you when I'm only 18 years old? Duan Xiaoan laughed. You are already an adult. Why are you still so naive? Chanshan nodded with tears in her eyes. Okay. Go back and take care of yourself. My mother is looking forward to having a grandson. After that, Duan Xiaoan closed the door. He did not feel sorry or care for Chanshan at all. Mu Chi-Chi stood behind Chanshan. She almost lost control of her emotions. She was about to hit Chanshan when Chanshan stopped her. Come with me to another place. Chanshan, sure. Lu Chanshan said. Then she pulled Mu Chi-Chi and ran to the hospital. When they arrived at the hospital, she quickly told the doctor why she was here. Arrange the surgery as soon as possible. I want to abort the baby. Chanshan, it is late at night. You don't have to torture yourself like this. Is it worth it for that bastard? If you want the surgery, we should arrange the time and do it in the best hospital. You can't risk your health. Mu Chi-Chi held Chanshan's shoulder and said, Chi-Chi, I feel terrible. I know you feel terrible. Since you have already met him, you should give Duan Xiaoan a hard slap. Make him regret it. Mu Chi-Chi left the hospital with Chanshan. I will send you home. Chanshan cried in Mu Chi-Chi's arms. But she had really given up. Of course, Mu Chi-Chi's lower limit was refreshed too. That man really could give Mu Tongxue a run for her money. He was worse than a pig or a dog. Just like how I treated Mu Tongxue. What is there for you to miss about Duan Xiaoan? But Duan Xiaoan knows about your relationship with the crown prince. Just because of this? Xiao Xiao said that he will deal with it. You just need to take care of yourself. Mu Chi-Chi said seriously. Promise me. Don't be silly, okay? Chapter 162. Why did they do this to me? What did I do wrong? Chanshan could not hold it in anymore. She cried in Mu Chi-Chi's arms. Why can they be so unscrupulous? Because Duan Xiaoan and knows that you care about them. I don't care. I don't want to care anymore. Chan said hysterically. Chichi, you are right. I am the eldest daughter of the Lu family. Why should I bow down to them? Since I have nothing left, what should I be afraid of? Chichi had never experienced what Chan was going through. Xing Xiao was her first love and Xing Xiao doted on her. So, she could not understand how much pain Chan was going through. However, she knew very well that Duan Xiao and was a scumbag from the bottom of his heart. He was a complete piece of trash. Chan cried in Chichi's arms for a while. But soon she felt that something was wrong. Maybe it was because she was too emotional that the child in her womb had a strong reaction. Chichi, I think, what's wrong? Chichi saw that Chan was in pain. She made a prompt decision and sent her to the hospital. Then she went to the emergency department as fast as she could. But the child was not saved. Chichi used Chan's phone to contact her parents. When they arrived at the hospital, they looked anxious and angry. You're Chichi, right? Thank you for what you did today. Mama Lu was in tears. Auntie, Chan will get through this. Chichi comforted her. We are friends with the Duan family. But I did not expect that they would treat my daughter like this. I will not let it go even if I die. I must make that child of the Duan family pay for what he did. Chan is fine. She just needs to be taken care of. You have been with her for a long time. Go back and rest, my good girl. Mama Lu said to Chichi gratefully. Chichi nodded. Soon she came out of the hospital and found Xing Zhao's car in the underground parking lot. But she did not say a word after she got into the car. After a while she sighed. Duan Xiao, and is not human at all. Xiao, I know everything. The Lu and Duan families might not have peace from now on. Fortunately, Lu Chan's family is richer than the Duan family. So, as long as the Lu parents come forward, Lu Chan would not be at a disadvantage. It's reasonable for the Lu family to suppress the Duan family in business. Is the Lu family stronger? Xing Xiao nodded as he drove. That's really lucky. I really want to see the Duan family go bankrupt. It was the first time he heard such a curse from Chichi's mouth, and he found it quite refreshing. Are you that angry? You didn't see how that shameless couple looked when they were together. Chichi was really angry. However, the scariest thing was that Chan's pregnancy and miscarriage were soon known by the people in the circle, and it was widely spread. The circle of nobles was only so small. Any jokes or scandals in the circle would, of course, be spread as gossip by the noblewomen. Of course, the Shin family had also heard about it. And the scariest thing they heard was that Chichi and Lu Chan were good friends. Since Lu Chan had done such a thing to ruin the reputation of the family, Chichi as her friend was certainly not a good person. When second aunt heard the rumor, she went home and complained to Grandpa Shin. Father, what kind of friends does your precious granddaughter have? She got pregnant at the age of 18, and now she has a miscarriage. Everyone is talking bad about the Shin family. Grandpa Shin stopped Huang Yu after listening to her complaints. I'm going to visit a comrade who's in a critical condition. You and Junhan should take care of the house. Don't cause any trouble. Just listen to the rumors. Father, I've never been so embarrassed outside. There's a first time for everything. Grandpa Shin packed his luggage and planned to leave for 2 days. He wanted to see his comrade for the last time before he left. Because he was in a hurry, he did not have time to discuss it with the Shin family or Chichi. He only called Chichi before he boarded the plane. Huang Yu saw Grandpa Shin leaving, but there was no news about Chichi. She immediately looked for Rong Junhan. Eldest sister-in-law, have you heard about the rumors outside? Did father scold you again? Don't you know who father dotes on the most now? Do you want to be scolded by yourself? Rong Junhan sneered. Eldest sister-in-law, you don't know how embarrassed I was in front of those rich ladies. They even asked me if Chichi was the eldest daughter of the Shin family. How could I answer them? Big brother's matter is already embarrassing enough. Everyone is laughing at Chichi's family background. If she doesn't behave properly, will the Shin family be criticized by others wherever they go? It was obvious that Huang Yu was really angry. After all, anyone would get angry when they were embarrassed. Rong Junhan glanced at Grandpa Shin's study. Suddenly, she remembered that Grandpa Shin had left the house. Father will definitely protect Chichi if he's here. Let's take this opportunity to teach Chichi a lesson. After all, she is a Shin. She must follow the rules of the Shin family. As her stepmother, of course, I have the responsibility to educate her. Eldest sister-in-law, you should have done this earlier. Because it was not just about the Shin family. It was also about the image of the Shin family. So Huang Yu hoped that Rong Junhan could teach Mu Qiqi a lesson. With that idea in mind, Rong Junhan called Mu Qiqi. Come to Shin Mansion after class tomorrow. Mu Qiqi felt strange when she received the call. Of course, she knew that Grandpa Shin had left Jianchuan. So, she guessed that Rong Junhan must be up to no good when she called her. I'm sorry, Aunt Rong. I don't have the time. Mu Qiqi rejected. I can't invite you, can I? Is it so difficult for you to come to our house for a meal? Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao who was beside her. Xing Xiao said to her in a low voice, why not? Mu Qiqi thought that he was right. Grandpa was not here and the Shin family was not a dangerous place. Although she could not get along with Rong Junhan, there were still other people in the Shin family. So Mu Qiqi changed her words. I will be there on time tomorrow night. It's good that you dare to come. Huang Yu finally calmed down after knowing the result. She would definitely cause trouble for Mu Qiqi tomorrow. What about Mu Qiqi? She looked at Xing Xiao. I don't even know why Rong Junhan came to me. You asked me to come. Grandpa is not here. Am I not able to fight against them? Chapter 163. You said it. Don't go back on your word. Xing Xiao pinched Mu Qiqi's nose and deliberately stifled her. Of course I said it. But you should know why they are looking for you. You know? The news of your deskmate's miscarriage has been spread everywhere. The Shin family probably feels embarrassed. Xing Xiao leaned against the balcony of his house and said to Mu Qiqi, they are asking you to go back just to teach you a lesson and not to get too close to Lu Qianqian. The news of Qianqian's miscarriage has been spread? Mu Qiqi quickly got up and looked at Xing Xiao. The circle is only so big. It's easy to know about this kind of thing. Mu Qiqi did not think about anything. She took out her phone and called Qianqian. Then Qianqian answered. Her voice was a little weak. Qiqi? Qianqian, are you okay? I'm fine. I can get out of bed and walk now. Lu Qianqian answered Mu Qiqi. But if you are asking me about my pregnancy before marriage and being laughed at by everyone, I can tell you that I am very sad. Qianqian, it's that bitch who spread the news. Lu Qianqian said to Mu Qiqi coldly. There was even a hint of sadness in her voice. Now those rich ladies are laughing at me behind my back. I'm pregnant before marriage, shameless and a broken shoe. Qianqian. Don't worry. I won't let her get what she wants. Since the child is gone, this is the choice that God made for me. Lu Qianqian sounded like she was about to cry. I have thought about it very clearly last night. I love someone so much and think that I am not a hindrance to others. But in fact I have hurt my parents. I have made them worry. I have made them unable to lift their heads in front of others. I am unfilial. From now on I will not be so stupid. After listening to Qianqian's words, Mu Qiqi was finally relieved. Qianqian, I have also experienced a lot of changes. I know how it feels. So let's do our best. From today onwards, those who bullied and mocked us will not dare to look us in the eye. Qianqian's words made Mu Qiqi feel better. Qiqi, I will do it. I believe you. Mu Qiqi nodded. I'm going to rest first. We'll talk later. After the call, Mu Qiqi felt relieved. She had the courage to go to the Shin family tomorrow. Rong Junhan? Second aunt? What was there to be afraid of? Does it matter whether they admit it or not? Xiao Xiao, you must come and save me tomorrow. If they bully me, I'll definitely fight back. I'm afraid that I'll be at a disadvantage if there's more of them. After Xing Xiao heard that, he put Mu Qiqi on his shoulder and walked into the bedroom. In this world, I'm the only one who can bully you. After saying that, he gave Mu Qiqi's round but a heavy slap. Qianqian hung up the phone so quickly because the Duan family had brought Duan Xiao to the hospital to visit Lu Qianqian. Duan Xiao was reluctant, but he had to obey his parents. You still have the cheek to come here? Mama Lu almost went up to them, but Papa Lu stopped her. Don't be rash. Madam, I'm really sorry about what happened to Qianqian. So, I've asked Xiao to come and apologize to Qianqian. The Duan family knew that they were in the wrong, so they wanted to appease Mama Lu. But at that moment, Lu Qianqian, who was lying on the bed, suddenly said, "Cancel the marriage." Everyone looked at Lu Qianqian, including Duan Xiao, because this woman had always been following him. No matter how hard he tried to drive her away, she never changed. But now, she said that she wanted to cancel the marriage? Could it be that she was trying to buy time? No need. I'll marry you if you get what you want. But I don't want to marry you anymore. Lu Qianqian shouted. Her voice was trembling. You should marry Bai Xinlan. Are you serious? Don't regret it. The Duan family should regret it. All these years, my mother has taken care of the Duan family because I like you. But from now on there will be nothing. Lu Qianshan pretended to be tough because she could not stand it anymore. Her mother had cried beside her bed the whole night. Qianshan, don't be angry. Xiao, and said those words out of anger. I promise you. Auntie, you don't have to promise me. Yesterday I was pregnant with your Duan family's child and went to look for him, but he lived with another woman. Do you really think I'm a slut? Lu Qianshan stubbornly held back her tears and said to Mother Duan. Xiao, and is what Qianshan said true? Yes. Before Duan Xiao and could finish his words, Mama Duan slapped him. Bastard. Qianshan is such a good girl. She has liked you for so many years. How can you let her down like this? I'm only 18 years old. I will be tied to her forever. If it were you, would you be willing? You don't have to be. From now on we are only enemies. We have nothing else to do with each other. Lu Qianshan said through gritted teeth. That's great. I can continue to live my life happily. Get lost. Lu Qianshan picked up the bowl of medicine on the bedside table and threw it at Duan Xiao. Duan Xiao, and when we are no longer related, I will not indulge that mistress anymore. You have to believe that with the Lu family's ability, I can make her suffer. Don't you dare. Of course I dare. In order not to aggravate the conflict between the two, Mama Duan dragged Duan Xiao and out of the ward. At this time Lu Qianshan was trembling. She was extremely emotional. Qianshan, don't be angry. Listen to me. Don't be angry. Dad, Mom, from now on you can do whatever you want of the Duan family. You don't have to consider my feelings. Lu Qianshan grabbed her mother's shoulder and said, I want those who bullied me to pay the price. Qianshan, it's good that you understand. Papa Lu was relieved. Don't worry. That scumbag bullied my daughter. I will make the Duan family disappear from Jianchuan. Lu Qianshan nodded. She would not stay idle. Since that bitch Bai dared to steal her man, she would wait and see. This scene happened in the ward. When Mu Qiqi found out about it, she felt extremely happy. In the middle of the night, the two of them were still talking on the phone. They seemed to be chatting happily. Qianshan, you should slap that scumbag's face like this. Hit the left side and hit the right side. Chapter 164. What you said is very reasonable. Let's use the spirit of dealing with scumbags and sluts. We will defeat all those who look down on us. Sheng Xiao, who was lying beside Mu Qiqi, was woken up by her bold words. He sat up drowsily and held her in his arms. He stroked her messy hair. Don't be so long-winded. Go to sleep. Mu Qiqi was afraid that she would agitate Qianshan, so she covered her phone. After a while they hung up. Mu Qiqi raised her head and looked at Sheng Xiao carefully. Sheng Xiao's hair and singlet were messy in his sleep, but it added a touch of sexiness to him. Mu Qiqi stretched out her finger to touch his lips. But Sheng Xiao grabbed her hand. Are you going to sleep? Or do you want to do something else? Mu Qiqi was so scared that she quickly closed her eyes. This man loved to tease her so much. The next day Mu Qiqi went to school as usual. But she also saw Bai Xinlan in school. Now that Qianshan said that she wanted to cancel the engagement with the scumbag, they should be even more reckless. Sure enough, during lunch Mu Qiqi saw Duan Xiao, and at the basketball court of Xingting University. Bai Xinlan was standing beside him, wiping his sweat and handing him water. Qianshan had sacrificed so many years of her youth for a man who played with her feelings. Mu Qiqi felt disgusted just thinking about it. Everyone said that every girl should meet a few scumbags, because that was the only way to grow and mature. But in this world there were also men who did not play with their feelings. They respected women and valued their feelings. So Mu Qiqi felt that this saying was not entirely true. Mu Qiqi felt uncomfortable when she thought about Qianshan lying in the hospital while the scumbag and the slut were flirting with each other. But she knew that Qianshan would not let her wait for too long. Bai Xinlan saw Mu Qiqi passing by the basketball court when she was talking to Duan Xiao, and so she immediately put down her towel and chased after her. Mu Qiqi, did you see that? Even rich ladies like you will lose to us commoners one day. Of course, rich ladies like us will lose to commoners like you. After all, it is the most basic thing. We want our reputation but you don't. Mu Qiqi said without turning her head. Am I more shameless than that woman who got pregnant before marriage? Bai Xinlan chased after her and blocked her way. You knew that she was engaged and pregnant, yet you still interfered. Don't you think you're already the most shameless person in the world? Mu Qiqi asked with a smile. You don't have to show off in front of me just because you have the upper hand. Listen, my time is different from yours. You spend your time seducing men and posing on the bed every day. That's your life. But we still need to play the piano, attend parties, go shopping and buy diamonds. Can Duan Shaoan give you those? Bai Xinlan could not refute Mu Qiqi at all. Isn't she still going to lose to men even though she's rich? Bai Xinlan, listen carefully. I'm giving you a piece of advice. Since you managed to get into Xingting University, it means that you are not bad. You should know the relationship between the Duan family and the Lu family. The Duan family has been relying on the Lu family for so many years. Do you think that without the Lu family Duan Shaoan is still the young master? After saying that, Mu Qiqi pushed Bai Xinlan away and walked past her. Bai Xinlan was so angry that her chest hurt. She seemed to have no choice but to shout at Mu Qiqi, "You are not easy to deal with either, are you? Even the crown prince fell in love with you. But do you think that you can marry into the Sheng family?" "I'm not sure if I can marry into the Sheng family, but I am sure that I can make you disappear from Jianchuan. Do you want to try?" Of course Bai Xinlan did not dare to do that. She dared to attack Qianqian because Duan Shaoan was a fool. But who dared to provoke Xing Xiao? He was like a devil. He was moody. Who dared to provoke him? Just you wait. Very soon the crown prince will dump you. Mu Qiqi did not even turn her head. She was amused. There was a reason why a scumbag and a bitch were attracted to each other. After all, birds of a feather flock together. Did Bai Xinlan think that she could provoke Mu Qiqi? She was completely wrong. Mu Qiqi did not even mention this couple in front of Qianqian. Who was she? Bai Xinlan could only go back to Duan Shaoan. That Mu Qiqi is also a bitch. Don't provoke her. Duan Shaoan warned her sternly. Otherwise no one can save you. Of course Bai Xinlan knew how scary Xing Xiao was. But she was not willing to give up. She was waiting for the day when Xing Xiao dumped Mu Qiqi. She would laugh to her heart's content. But she might not be able to wait for that day. She would only wait for Qianqian's revenge. Qianqian thought about it for the whole night and the whole morning. Although her body was fine now, the wound in her heart was still there. So, Qianqian called Mu Qiqi in the afternoon and told her that she was going to Xingting University. "Are you feeling better now? It's not a big deal. Don't worry. Let me vent my anger first. Then I will feel better." Okay. She is in class 4 of the finance faculty. After getting the information from Mu Qiqi, Lu Qianqian went to Xingting University with 4 bodyguards. She waited at the entrance of Bai Xinlan's classroom. When Bai Xinlan finished her class, Lu Qianqian went up to her and shouted, "Bai Xinlan!" Bai Xinlan turned around. Before she could see who it was, Lu Qianqian gave her a slap. Everyone present was dumbfounded. Because they were at the entrance of the classroom, there were many people who saw the scene. But Lu Qianqian was not afraid. She pointed at Bai Xinlan and said, "Don't steal someone else's fiancé next time. I will give Duan Shaoan to you." Bai Xinlan did not expect that Lu Qianqian would come to the university and in front of so many people. Let your classmates take a good look at him. Remember, if they are in the same faculty as you, they must take good care of their boyfriend. Otherwise, one day he will become your boyfriend. After saying that, Lu Qianqian put on her sunglasses and raised her chin. Then she left Xingting University with her bodyguards. At this moment, how could Bai Xinlan feel? Shame and anger were not enough to describe her expression. "I heard that her handsome boyfriend is engaged. But you don't believe me. His wife has come to the university. Amazing. A bitch who steals someone else's boyfriend will die a horrible death. That is the young lady of the Lu family. She deserves to offend a rich man." Bai Xinlan could not bear the humiliation. She quickly left the classroom. She did not expect that Lu Qianqian would be serious. She thought that Duan Shaoan was a pushover because he did not say anything to Lu Qianqian. She did not expect that a vengeful woman could be so scary. Chapter 165. Qianqian had taken the first step. Now it was her turn to take the first step. Although they were facing different situations, there was no difference between the scumbags. They were all trash. Mu Qiqi was looking forward to what would happen when she returned to the Shin family tonight. Soon Mu Qiqi finished her last class and left the school. When they got out of the school, she found Xing Xiao's car and got on it excitedly. Then she told Xing Xiao about Qianqian's visit to the school. This is how Qianqian used to be. She did not ruin herself for a scumbag. Grandpa is at the Sheng family. Ha! Mu Qiqi did not understand what Xing Xiao meant. Your grandpa is having tea at the Sheng family. He went back to Jianchuan early in the morning. But he did not rush home after he knew that Rong Junhan asked you to go to the Shen family. Xing Xiao explained. This is going to be a good show. Are you suspecting that my grandpa purposely found an excuse to visit his sick patient? But he was actually testing Rong Junhan to see if she would cause trouble for me? It's true that he visited his sick patient. It's also true that he is testing her. Xing Xiao smiled. It's going to be fun. Then I am looking forward to it. Mu Qiqi hugged Xing Xiao's arm and kissed him on the cheek. Let's go for dinner first. I will have the strength to argue with those people later. Xing Xiao lowered his head and kissed her head. Then they went back to the small mansion and had a good dinner. Before they left, Su Zipei reminded Mu Qiqi. But don't go too far. Don't be too ugly. Aunt Rong Junhan is hiding Mu Tangxue. Who asked you to be so polite to her? Aren't there other people in the Shen family? Mu Qiqi was amused by Su Zipei's words. Don't worry. I know what to do. Then Mu Qiqi got into Xing Xiao's car. But she noticed that there was one more person in the car. Xing Xiao had moved from the front seat to the back seat. Let Jingyun drive. We don't want to be photographed. You will be photographed even if you sit in the back seat. Just tell me if you are worried. Xing Xiao glanced at her and closed his eyes. Stop nagging. Mu Qiqi did not expose him anymore. After all, Xing Xiao had many such excuses in the past. But it was all because he was worried about her. For example, when the sports car entered the garage. She was still impressed. After you go in, be careful. If you're bullied, call me immediately. I know. Mu Qiqi nodded. With such a heartwarming lover, what was there for her to be afraid of? Soon the car arrived at the Shen family's compound. Mu Qiqi got off the car at the iron gate and asked Jing Yun to accompany Xing Xiao. Still, when Mu Qiqi got out of the car, Jing Yun turned to Xing Xiao and said, Young master, the matter has been investigated. Perhaps Mu Qiqi did not notice that Jing Yun's return meant that the investigation of Xin Jianchuan's second injury was almost completed. She was not in the mood to ask about it, but Xing Xiao simply sat up and looked at Jing Yun. What's your conclusion? The old headmaster is already dead, so I thought that the clue was cut off. However, the old headmaster's daughter-in-law was also involved in the matter. According to her, she saw a woman looking for the old headmaster, but her surname wasn't Rong. Names can be made up. We'll talk about it later tonight. Xing Xiao knew that this matter would not go smoothly. After all, it had been a long time. Rong Junhan had plenty of time to think about it. Even if there were loopholes in the case, she should have fixed most of them after all these years. But as long as it was done by someone, there would be evidence. So he would continue to investigate. When Mu Qiqi entered the Shen family, the Shen seemed to have been waiting for her for a long time. They were all sitting on the sofa. Third uncle and third aunt were sitting on the left and second uncle and aunt were sitting on the right. Rong Junhan was sitting on the main seat. Was it a joint hearing? Only youngest aunt was not here. Qiqi, have you eaten? Rong Junhan asked Mu Qiqi calmly when she saw her entering the living room. Yes, I have. We did not eat because we were waiting for you. Rong Junhan suppressed her anger and said to her. This house is full of elders waiting for you. Shouldn't you apologize when you come in? Apologize? Mu Qiqi was stunned. She pretended to be innocent. First of all, Aunt Rong, you called me to come home for dinner, but you did not tell me the time. Moreover, I still have homework and experiments to do. It's just that I came late. You are an elder. Do you have to make things difficult for me? Don't tell me that everyone is starving just to teach me a lesson? Mu Qiqi. Rong Junhan was furious. We don't care how you behave in the Mu family. We don't care if you have no manners or rules. But now you are in the Shen family. You must abide by the rules in the Shen family. You made everyone embarrassed when you appeared. Your elders are gossiping about you. Don't you need to be taught a lesson? How did I let you be gossiped about? Mu Qiqi could not help but ask. You still have the cheek to ask. Rong Junhan slammed the glass table in front of her. You are so close to the Lu family's daughter who got pregnant out of wedlock. People are saying that you are not clean. They are engaged. Mu Qiqi said. What do you mean by not clean? This matter has humiliated the Shen family. And you are still so arrogant. You don't respect your elders at all. You are so stubborn. Then Rong Junhan pointed at Mu Qiqi and shouted. Kneel down. Grandpa is not here and you are acting like the head of the family? Mu Qiqi sneered. What? Eldest sister and eldest brother's wedding is going to be held soon. Are you still not happy? Huang Yu was sitting at the side. She rolled her eyes and asked Mu Qiqi. They are not married yet. Isn't it too early to talk about being the head of the family? Muchichi was not the same as before. She used to watch gangster movies to learn how to use a tone to fight back. Now she could handle such a situation, because Xing Xiao had given her enough confidence. Rong Junhan was prepared when she saw Muchichi was not obedient. She gestured to the two men she invited to the front. They wanted to force Muchichi to kneel down, but Muchichi noticed them. She turned around and pointed at the two men. We are talking about human rights now. If you dare to do anything, I will definitely sue you in court. Don't listen to her nonsense. She is just a child. The two men did not listen to Muchichi. They stretched out their hands and held her down. But Muchichi did not kneel down. Chichi, I'm doing this for your own good. After all, the Shin family is not a place where you can mess around. It's not easy for the elders to handle things. So, I don't care if you're willing to accept it or not. You'll have to be punished. Rong Junhan said to Muchichi in a righteous manner. You make it sound nice. But you are just venting your anger. What era are we in now? There is punishment? Muchichi sneered. Grandpa should be at the door now. Chapter 166. What are you waiting for? Ask her to kneel down. The two men held Muchichi and wanted to force her to kneel down. But Grandpa Shen, who was standing at the door, could not stand it anymore. He walked out. Stop. Everyone was stunned when they heard Grandpa Shen's voice. They took a deep breath and stood up from the sofa. Grandpa Shen walked out from behind the screen and looked at everyone in the living room. Then he walked to Rong Junhan. Before she could say anything, Grandpa Shen slapped her. Who do you think you are? How dare you show off in front of us? Father, second brother and Huang Yu were shocked. That's eldest sister-in-law, the Shen family is indebted to her. She's your benefactor. But what benefactor to me? Take care of my eldest son for me? He is her fiancé. Did Grandpa Shen force her? Even if she is our benefactor, Jianchuan should be the one to return the favor. How can she behave like this in front of us? Is she married into our family? Second elder and Huang Yu were speechless. After I die, will the Shen family change their surname to Rong? Father, calm down. Eldest sister asked Muchichi to come here just to tell her the rules of the Shen family. Third aunt added fuel to the fire. But she just said a few words and she already asked her to kneel down. I don't understand it. But I don't dare to say anything. Grandpa Shen was so dignified that no one dared to say anything. Especially Rong Junhan, who was slapped. She stood at the side and her lips were trembling. She was angry and scared at the same time. When I arrived at Jianchuan this morning, I heard that you were in a hurry to find Muchichi. You just wanted to bully her when I was not around. So, I purposely went to the Sheng family for morning tea. I wanted to see if you, as the elders of the Shen family, have any sense of shame in your heart. I've been listening at the door for a long time. 5 adults and 2 thugs bullying an 18-year-old girl. Good job. Grandpa Shen was so angry that he laughed. Is this the good son I taught? I can't believe it. Father, you can't say it like that. It's a fact that Muchichi and Lu Qianqian are too close to each other. It's a disgrace to the Shen family. Who do you think you are? How dare you talk back to me? Because of Huang Yu's words, Grandpa Sheng's anger exploded even more. Your father is a murderer. Why aren't you a murderer? You haven't learned anything, but you've learned to be strict with others and lenient to yourself? When you entered the Shen family and caused a rumor, did I ever find trouble with you? Huang Yu was stunned by the old master's words and didn't dare to speak anymore. Tears welled up in her eyes and she almost cried. Don't pretend to be innocent in front of me. If you want to bully Chi-Chi, wait until I can't move my old bones anymore. Then you can try to ride on my head. Mu Tongxue was really despicable in the past. But she was right about one thing. You worship Rong Junhan like a god. But to me she's an outsider. I'm warning you, second brother and second daughter-in-law. If you still can't tell right from wrong and try to sow discord in the family, get out of here. I don't want ungrateful people. As for third brother and you, third daughter-in-law, behave yourself. If you want to get involved in this kind of thing again, get out of here. Grandpa Shen was serious. He was furious. So, the 2 Shen brothers knelt down immediately. Huang Yu did not move. Third daughter-in-law was shocked too. She knelt down immediately. This is my territory. Can't I control my people? Father, I've been in the Shen family for so many years. How much have I done for the Shen family? Rong Junhan was heartbroken. You did it for the Shen family? Your brother caused trouble in the past and got one of his legs broken. He was locked up in the detention center. Who helped him get out? The Rong family almost went bankrupt 3 times. Who helped you get through that? Who was the one who got the land to build your dance school? Do you dare to say that you didn't get anything from the Shin family? Rong Junhan was stunned. How would Grandpa Shin know about this? It was second elder Shin who had helped him with all these things. Is there anything that I don't know about in this family? I was wondering why second brother and second sister had helped eldest brother to repay eldest brother's kindness for taking care of him all these years. Third daughter-in-law sneered. Shut up all of you. I've already said the ugly words. When Mu Chichi comes to the Shin family in the future, you must be polite. If you bully her again, you don't need to call me your father anymore. Just call Rong Junhan your sister-in-law. His words were harsh enough, and Grandpa Xing did not want to see his children's faces at all. He waved at Chichi. Xiaoqi, come with Grandpa. After Mu Chichi got rid of the 2 men, she walked to Grandpa Shen and held him. Grandpa, come with me to the study. I'm sick of looking at these people. Grandpa Shen brought Mu Chichi away. It was a warning to the Shin family, especially third daughter-in-law. She said to Huang Yu and Rong Junhan after Grandpa Shin left. We wanted to capture eldest brother's daughter and humiliate her when father was not around. But we didn't expect that father played us. He made you fall into his trap. We didn't come for nothing. Otherwise we would have missed a good show. Then, third brother and third daughter-in-law went back to their room. Only Huang Yu helped Rong Junhan up. Eldest sister, don't be sad. Don't take father's words to heart. I'm fine. But you, father said something so cruel. You must forgive him. Otherwise I will be a sinner. Rong Junhan was referring to Grandpa Shin saying that Huang Yu's father was a murderer. Huang Yu shook her head. Although she was shocked at that moment, she still reflected on herself after that. It seemed that it was too much to ask of Mu Chichi. It's fine. Let Mu Chichi go for now. There will be more chances in the future. She won't be so lucky next time. I don't believe that Grandpa Shin can protect her at any time. After entering the study, Grandpa Shin sat on the chair alone. He was sulking. Mu Chichi walked to Grandpa Shin and said helplessly, I wouldn't have come if I knew that you would be so angry. Grandpa, I know that you are drinking tea at Xing Mansion. Of course I know that you know. Xing Xiao told you, said Grandpa Shin. The old man replied, silly girl, you knew that you would be wronged if I tested them, yet you still dared to come here alone. If I didn't come, I wouldn't be able to vent my anger. How uncomfortable would it be? Mu Chichi smiled. Moreover, I'm fine. You heard it just now. I didn't let them take advantage of me. Chapter 167. Then why are you so protective of me? Speaking of this, Grandpa Shin looked at Mu Chichi and thought of Xin Jianchuan. I believe in you because you have been through so many hardships, but you still insist on being yourself. This state of mind is commendable. You and eldest brother are both my good children. In the future you should come to the Shin family. This is also your home. With Grandpa Shin around, they will not dare to do anything to you. Mu Chichi nodded and held Grandpa Shin's hand. Don't be angry. How can you protect me if you hurt your health? And Grandpa, you and Dad should be careful. I know what you are worried about. Little girl, you are thinking too much. Grandpa Shin smiled happily. He felt that it was worth it to be angry just now. It was because Mu Chichi knew that Xin Jianchuan had been hurt twice. And the person who bumped into her father might be Rong Junhan. Grandpa Shin made Rong Junhan suffer in the Shin family today. Maybe she was going to do the same thing again for some reason. Mu Chichi did not dare to take the risk. You are tired. You should rest now. I will leave after you rest. Forget it. You should go back. Jing Yun is still waiting for you outside. Speaking of which, this Xing Xiao is really a good friend. Old Master Shin patted Mu Chichi's hand and said, I'm still healthy now. Don't be afraid. Mu Chichi and Grandpa Shin looked at each other and nodded. All right. I will go home now. Grandpa Shin blinked. He was no longer as fierce as he was just now. He had become a kind old man again. Other than her aunt, this was the second family member who could treat her sincerely. Mu Chichi only hoped that Grandpa Shin could live a long life. After that, Mu Chichi left the Shin family. Maybe it was because of Grandpa Shin's scolding. So, the Shins did not deliberately make things difficult for her anymore. Although they still looked at her with disgust. Mu Chichi left the Shin family's courtyard and got into the car parked outside. But Jing Yun was no longer there. Xing Xiao had taken his place. I could feel the intensity in the hall even when I was outside. Grandpa came back just in time. I'm not hurt, Mu Chichi replied. Of course. He arrived not long after you went in. The old fox was watching the show at the door. So, there's nothing for me to do. Xing Xiao patted Mu Qiqi's head. I'll feel more secure with more people protecting you. Xiao Xiao. But in terms of words, I might suffer a little. How about it? Do you regret that I let you return to the Shin family? Mu Qiqi quickly shook her head. You don't know how grateful I am. In the past, I had a father and a grandfather, but I felt like I had nothing. Now that I've regained what I lost, and it's with sincerity, I suddenly feel that I'm the happiest person in the world, especially. I have you. Seeing the passion in her eyes, Xing Xiao pinched her chin and smiled. Little one, your mouth is getting sweeter. I'm just worried about the safety of Dad and Grandpa. Your grandfather is a veteran. What can escape his eyes? Xing Xiao snorted. Then he started the car and drove Mu Qiqi home. On the way back, Xing Xiao thought of Jing Yun's investigation. Jing Yun found out about the old dean. But it's a pity that he has passed away. And his daughter is involved in it. But she told Jing Yun that the woman who bumped into your father is called Tong Shui. Not Rong Junhan? I suspect that it's a fake name. But we need evidence. Let's see if Rong Junhan has used the name Tong Shui for anything else. Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao. She felt that this man was really meticulous. He could even be a policeman. Xiao Xiao, thank you so much, Special Assistant. Why? Are you worried? Yes, I'm worried. Who asked him to be your special assistant? Xing Xiao glanced at her and snorted. Then he stopped talking. But when should we tell Grandpa about this? If this is really Rong Junhan's doing, then we can't imagine how deep this woman's bottom line is. She might do anything. I will ask Jing Yun to find all the evidence before the wedding. Mu Qiqi trusted Xing Xiao. So she trusted Jing Yun too. But that night, Rong Junhan was furious after she was slapped by Grandpa Shin. She used to have a good relationship with the Shin family. But because of Mu Qiqi's appearance, everything changed. Then she thought of Mu Tongxue. So she went to the dance school to look for her. Mu Tongxue was hidden by Rong Junhan. She was asked to imitate Mu Qiqi. And she must look exactly like Mu Qiqi. And recently Rong Junhan even brought her to get a mole for a tattoo. Actually, Mu Tongxue did not want herself to be like Mu Qiqi. She was not Mu Qiqi's shadow. But she had to obey Rong Junhan for her own survival. Otherwise, there would be no place for her in this big world. They probably thought that the tattoo on Mu Qiqi's ear was done randomly. But they did not know that it was Xing Zhao's name. When you are ready, I will bring you to Shin Jianchuan. He is the first obstacle you have to pass. Shin Jianchuan had just woken up. Moreover, he had been sleeping for so many years. His brain should not be working so well. It should not be difficult to fool him. But in fact, she did not know how smart Shin Jianchuan was. The next day, Mu Qiqi called Qian early in the morning. Because Qian was worried about the result of her going to the Shin family. She did not want Mu Qiqi to be bullied. But after listening to Mu Qiqi's exciting part, she felt very happy. That Rong guy is really arrogant. But then again, Qiqi, I have nothing to say about Grandpa Shin's treatment of you. It can be said that he has made up for the lack of familial love that you have lacked in the past 10 years. How are you now? You have vented your anger yesterday. What's next? I have taught the scumbag a lesson. Now it's the scumbag's turn, said Lu Qian. No, it should be the whole Duan family. Think about it. Duan Xiao and I have been together for so many years. How can his parents not know about it? But they have never disciplined Duan Xiao. Don't they have any responsibility? They only know how to ask my parents for help every day. They use Duan Xiao and as a bargaining chip. Now that bargaining chip is worthless to me. Let's see if the Duan family will panic or not. No matter what happened in the past, it will be the result now. The Duan family will definitely come and beg you, said Mu Qiqi. Wasn't that what a rich family was like? It was always about benefits. Chapter 168. Mu Qiqi was right. The Duan family was shocked when they found out about Lu Qian's attitude. Qian had always tolerated her son's misdeeds outside. So, they thought that Lu Qian was just throwing a tantrum this time. Who knew that the Lu family's lawyer would soon come and terminate all cooperation? When Papa Duan knew about it, he scolded Duan Xiao and then asked Mama Duan to bring Duan Xiao and to the Lu family to apologize. So, mother and son arrived at the Lu family early in the morning. Qian, that mother and son have been waiting downstairs for almost 2 hours. Are you really not going to go down and meet them? Mama Lu crossed her arms and watched Lu Qian dress up in her room. I used to follow Duan Xiao, and like a dog. What's wrong with asking him to wait now? Lu Qianqian said nonchalantly. If you don't want them to wait, just say that I'm not here. Mama Lu patted Lu Qianqian's shoulder. My daughter has really grown up. Mommy, don't worry. Lu Qianqian turned around and held Mama Lu's hand. I won't let you worry anymore. Since they are not important, let's not meet them. What's the big deal? Having said that, Mama Lu went downstairs and returned to the living room. She said to Mama Duan, I'm sorry, Mrs. Duan. I went upstairs to call Qianqian again just now and realized that she was not at home. It's my fault for making you wait for so long. I'm sorry. Please go back. In fact, everyone knew that Lu Qianqian was at home, but she refused to come down. In-laws, Mrs. Duan, since Qianqian and Duan Xiao and have broken off their engagement, there is no such thing as in-laws. Mama Lu corrected Mama Duan. This is a big thing in life. How can it be broken off just like that? Mama Lu's eyes changed color when she heard that. In the Lu family, she was more arrogant than Papa Lu. In the past, she tolerated her daughter because she liked her daughter. Now that her daughter did not like her, how could she spoil her? We won't talk about all the affairs your son has had outside. I've told Qianqian many times before. Why do you want such a man? She was very persistent. Alright, I'll wait and see. I didn't expect your son to be even more powerful. He's engaged to my Qianqian and he's living with another woman. He even caused my daughter to have a miscarriage. If I had given birth to this beast, I would have kicked it to death. Trash, what's the point of living in this world? Qianqian used to give in to him, didn't she? Your whole family thinks that the Lu family owes you, right? Now my daughter doesn't like him anymore. I'll get someone to buy firecrackers and set them up at the door. Mama Lu's words certainly did not spare the other party any face. What was the point of sparing him? Mama Duan's expression was unusually ugly, but she had to endure it. Mrs. Lu, please let me see Qianqian. Perhaps she will change her mind? Mama Lu sneered and nodded. I told you she's out. Since you want to see her, keep waiting. I have other things to do, so I won't keep you company. She's just a used shoe. She canceled the engagement with me. Who else would want her? Duan Xiao, and muttered to himself. But in fact, it represented the Duan family's thoughts. Qianqian's miscarriage had become a big deal. Everyone in the circle knew about it. How could Qianqian get married? But Qianqian did not want to see them. So, the Duan family and Mama Duan waited in the Lu family's house for the whole day with an empty stomach until Papa Lu came home at night. Finally, at dinner time, Lu Qianqian came downstairs. When Duan Xiao saw her, he went up to her and said, Do you know you've made me and my mother wait for the whole day? Did I beg you to wait? Lu Qianqian chuckled. Lu Qianqian, that's enough. Lu Qianqian shook off Duan Xiao and then pushed him away. Who's messing with you? Our engagement has been cancelled. Why are you still here in the Lu family? Don't tell me you really think that I won't marry anyone but you? Yes, I did have a miscarriage. Everyone in the circle is laughing at me. But so what? At most, I won't get married. I'm the daughter of a rich family. I eat well and play well. Why must I need a man? After saying that, Lu Qianqian looked at Papa Lu and said, Dad, hurry up and cut ties with the Duan family. I don't want to see anyone from the Duan family. My dear daughter, I have asked the lawyers to handle it. In 3 days, the Duan family will be declared bankrupt. Papa Lu took off his coat and said to Lu Qianqian, Can't it be faster? Lu Qianqian walked to Papa Lu and said coquettishly, Is that so? Then I will make a few more calls later and send more lawyers. Papa Lu hugged Lu Qianqian and said, Why can't my daughter get married? Mama Duan and Duan Xiao An's expressions were very interesting. The Duan family bullied you. I won't let them get away with it. Don't worry. Lu Qianqian tilted her head and looked at Duan Xiao and, Did you hear that? Do you really think that the Duan family will lose without you? I don't think so. I will. Mama Duan and Duan Xiao and did not expect that they would be snubbed by the Lu family. So they left the Lu family dejectedly. Lu Qianqian watched them leave and snorted coldly. Dad, do you think we can make the Duan family go bankrupt? Duan Xiao An's father is not made for business. If it were not for the Lu family's support, the family would have gone bankrupt long ago. What do you think? Papa Lu patted Lu Qianqian's head. My dear daughter, I am afraid that you won't be able to do it. Dad, it's time to throw away the old things. That's good. Just wait and see. What about Mama Duan and Duan Xiao? And when they got home they complained, Lu Qianqian, that bitch has been hiding all day. Not only that, she even humiliated me and Mom. So, What did you do when I asked you to sue for peace? Papa Duan slapped Duan Xiao, and when he heard what he said. If it were not for you, would Qianqian hate you so much? Would the Lu family take revenge on the Duan family like this? Dad, just wait and see. Based on the Lu family's speed, they will withdraw all the money they invested in the Duan family in a few days. Really? Is there no way to save it? Mama Duan did not want to stick her warm face to the Lu family's cold buttocks. The Lu family has tried their best all these years, Papa Duan said. Then he looked at Duan Xiao and fiercely. In order to deal with the bankruptcy, Xiao An's villa, sports car and everything valuable will be confiscated. Dad? Chapter 169. Papa Duan was a man of his words. Duan Xiao and had nothing in one night. He had promised Bai Xinlan yesterday that he would bring her to order a ring. But now he had less than 100 yuan. He had nothing. However, he believed that Bai Xinlan truly liked him. She would not mind whether he had these worldly possessions or not. So, early in the morning he still went to Xingting University. But this time he did not drive. Bai Xinlan asked him, "Why didn't you drive?" There was a small problem. Duan Xiao and touched his nose and answered, "Let's go. I have already made an appointment with the designer. Let's go and order the ring now." Duan Xiao and did not say anything. He went to the jewelry store with Bai Xinlan. If it was in the past, he would not even bat an eye at such a price. But now he had no money at all. Bai Xinlan seemed to be very happy. She kept exchanging ideas with the designer. But when it came to the price, Duan Xiao An's expression was very unnatural. But Bai Xinlan did not notice it. "Miss Bai, this is the bill. Do you want to pay by card or cash?" Bai Xinlan took the bill and passed it to Duan Xiao An. But Duan Xiao An did not move. "What's wrong, Xinlan? Actually, I have no money." Duan Xiao An could not pretend anymore. He had to tell Bai Xinlan the truth. Bai Xinlan's face changed when she heard it. "What nonsense are you talking about? You are the young master of the Duan family. How can you not have money?" When the jewelry store designer saw the two of them like this, he knew that today's work was for nothing, so he rolled his eyes and left. Duan Xiao and took a deep breath. In order not to let more people laugh at him, he pulled Bai Xinlan and hurriedly walked out of the jewelry shop. "Xinlan, actually my car and everything else have been taken back by my father." "What do you mean? Our family might go bankrupt because—" Bai Xinlan was stunned when she heard the word bankrupt. "Because of Lu Qianqian?" "Yes. The Lu family is going to destroy our family." Duan Xiao and admitted honestly. "Then you should have told us earlier. If you had told us that you have no money, we would not have come here to embarrass ourselves." Bai Xinlan said angrily. "Do you know how embarrassed I was just now? Xinlan, you said that you like being with me. Save it. Why would I want to be with you if I don't have money?" Bai Xinlan pushed Duan Xiao An's hand away and hailed a taxi. She had never thought that Lu Qianqian would be so ruthless. First, she had made her unable to behave in school. Now, she had cut off the Duan family's livelihood in the business world. It seemed that she had encountered a tough nut to crack this time. Only by leaving early could one protect themselves. Duan Xiao and thought that Bai Xinlan was angry, so he took a taxi to school and waited for her in class. But Bai Xinlan was not in the mood to talk to him. Her contact list was full of rich people. Why did she want to be with this poor guy? Soon there were rumors in the school. "I heard that Bai Xinlan's rich boyfriend's family went bankrupt. Didn't you see him taking a taxi to school recently?" "What's going on? What gossip?" "I heard that it was her boyfriend's fiancé's family who did it to avenge her daughter." "How ruthless." "They deserve it. That's what they deserve." Bai Xinlan saw that they had no money, so she tried to avoid them. "She is too practical. I hope that Bai Xinlan will die." Mu Qiqi had heard a lot of such rumors, but she just smiled. After all, beasts were not worthy of sympathy. It also showed how determined Qianqian was to make the Duan family collapse overnight. Especially when she saw Duan Xiao and coming to stop Bai Xinlan a few times. But Bai Xinlan ignored him. That scene was so satisfying. She would be happy if Duan Xiao and was completely destroyed. Soon the class was over. Mu Qiqi walked out of the lab. She was about to call Xing Xiao to tell him that she was at the south gate of the school. But Duan Xiao and stopped her. Mu Qiqi was stunned. She put away her phone and looked at Duan Xiao and, "Why do you like to come to me?" "Because you are good friends with Lu Qianqian." Duan Xiao and was dispirited. He had lost his source of income and his status. Now he was just a poor guy. He looked miserable. Tell me what you want. I want to go home. Can't you ask Lu Chanchan to let me go? I have nowhere to go now. I have no other way. Even if I know that you will not help me, I still want to try. You are right. I will not help you, Mu Chichi said coldly. Then she wanted to walk past Duan Xiao, but Duan Xiao grabbed her arm. Let go. I won't let go. At this moment, a black car suddenly appeared at the gate of the school. The man in the driver's seat saw Mu Chichi being grabbed and quickly rolled down the window. Although he was wearing sunglasses, his temperament and appearance could easily expose his identity. He asked Duan Xiao indirectly, "Do you want to die a worse death?" Duan Xiao turned around. When he saw Xing Xiao, he quickly let go, because he knew that the Lu family would only make his family bankrupt. But Xing Xiao could hang him in the forest and starve him for 3 days and 3 nights. If you want to live, you should go to the Lu family and apologize to them. It's useless to catch my people. I'm sorry. Duan Xiao immediately bowed and apologized to Xing Xiao. In the future you better stay at least 10 meters away from my Chichi. Otherwise I will take action. Duan Xiao was frightened. He quickly raised his hands and surrendered. Then he ran away from the two. Mu Chichi saw that Duan Xiao was so afraid of Xing Xiao. She smiled and got into Xing Xiao's car. I was stopped when I was about to call you. Although I warned Duan Xiao, you must be careful in case he does something desperate. I know. Mu Chichi nodded. It seems that the Lu family has given him a big blow. You don't have to waste your time on this kind of person. After dinner, I will send you to the hospital to see your father. Xing Xiao did not want to waste any more words on Duan Xiao. Okay. Mu Chichi nodded. She had not seen her father for a few days. But she did not know that Rong Junhan had planned to let Mu Tangxue appear in front of Xin Jianchuan tonight. Chapter 170. It was 7 o'clock at night when Mu Chichi arrived at the hospital with Su Zipei's chicken soup. Rong Junhan was in the ward. When she saw Mu Chichi, she said to Xin Jianchuan as if nothing had happened, "I will go to the small kitchen in the hospital to prepare dinner for you." In fact, Rong Junhan hated Mu Chichi because of what happened in the Xin family that day. Another reason was that she had to prepare the clothes for Mu Tangxue. Xin Jianchuan nodded, but his eyes followed Mu Chichi. After Rong Junhan left, Mu Chichi let her guard down. She said to Xin Jianchuan, "Father, are you okay?" Xin Jianchuan felt Mu Chichi's caring gaze. He nodded slightly and expressed his thoughts with simple words. "Very good. Did Aunt Rong bully you?" Xin Jianchuan shook his head when he heard Mu Chichi's question. "That's good." Actually, Mu Chichi did not believe what Xin Jianchuan said. But she was still not sure about her father's character. So, she was afraid that he would be deceived by Rong Junhan. Xin Jianchuan was satisfied as long as he could see his daughter. No matter how difficult the rehabilitation was, he had the courage to overcome it. Xin Jianchuan looked at his daughter carefully because she looked very much like Su Ziqing when she was young. However, when he saw the tattoo on her left earlobe, he could not help but ask, "This tattoo looks like a person's name. Is it?" Mu Chichi was stunned for a moment. She did not expect her father to see through her. But it was only for a moment. She put away her surprise and answered Xin Jianchuan, "It's my savior. In order to express my respect and admiration for him, and also to remind myself to live a good life, I tattooed it on my ear." Xin Jianchuan's eyes were full of pity and helplessness. "It's all my fault." "No, it has nothing to do with you." Mu Chichi smiled and said, "If you really feel sorry for me, please get well soon, okay?" Xin Jianchuan drank the chicken soup that his daughter fed him with satisfaction. Then he listened to Mu Chichi talking about what happened in the Xin family that day. But in the end he couldn't communicate like a normal person, so the father and daughter didn't talk much. Mu Chichi stayed in the hospital for an hour. Then she left the hospital. Then Rong Junhan came into the ward with dinner. "Did you leave?" Xin Jianchuan nodded. "Chichi still needs to be taught properly in the future." Xin Jianchuan did not reply because Grandpa Xin and Mu Chichi had told him everything that happened in the Xin family. He did not know if Mu Chichi needed to be taught, but he knew very well how vicious Rong Junhan was. Whenever they had the chance they would try to bully Mu Chichi. Most of the reason was because Mu Chichi was too similar to Su Ziqing. Very soon Xin Jianchuan finished his dinner. A moment later that familiar face appeared outside the ward again. Rong Junhan saw Mu Chichi again. She asked, "Why are you back?" "I left something behind, so I came to look for it." Rong Junhan snorted softly. She did not say anything. Anyway, that was how she treated Mu Chichi. And this Mu Chichi walked to Shin Jianchuan's bedside and sat down again. Father? Shin Jianchuan looked at his daughter lovingly. But he had a strong feeling that this daughter's gaze was very different from the one he met just now. Mu Chichi's gaze was firm and confident just now. But this Mu Chichi's gaze was flickering with uneasiness. Although they looked exactly the same, Shin Jianchuan could still see the subtle differences between them. After all, every time Mu Chichi came, he would take a few more glances at his daughter. He knew how she was like and what kind of expressions she liked to make. Then Shin Jianchuan deliberately looked at Mu Chichi's earlobe. He saw her tattoo again. He asked, "Why did you tattoo a few letters on your ear? Is there any special meaning?" Mu Tongxue touched her earlobe. Then she answered, "There is no special meaning. It just looks nice." Shin Jianchuan knew the answer. But he did not show it. He treated Mu Chichi the same way he treated her. He said, "What did you leave behind? Hurry up and look for it." The key to the house. Mu Tongxue looked around quickly. Then she bent down and pretended to find it beside Shin Jianchuan's bed. "Oh my God. I thought I lost it. It's too late now. You should go back and rest. Chichi, can you come to the hospital again this weekend to visit me? He's doing his rehabilitation today. I need some encouragement." Of course. Mu Tongxue was delighted. Did it mean that she had passed the test when Shin Jianchuan said that to her? Rong Junhan signaled her to leave. She had performed well tonight. If she did not look closely, she could not even tell the difference between Mu Chichi and Mu Tongxue, let alone Shin Jianchuan. But how would they know? Even if they looked exactly the same, Mu Tongxue could not really imitate Mu Chichi. Because the eyes could not lie. Then there was the breath. If Mu Tongxue pretended to be deaf and dumb and just stood there quietly, perhaps they would believe her. But once she opened her mouth, everything would be exposed. Moreover, Shin Jianchuan had confirmed it with the tattoo. Mu Chichi said that the tattoo represented her benefactor's name. She used this method to express her admiration for her benefactor. But Mu Tongxue said that there was no meaning to it. It was just to look good. So Shin Jianchuan and Mu Tongxue agreed to meet on the weekend. He wanted Grandpa Shin to inform Mu Tongxue so that she could come to the hospital too. He wanted to see how Mu Tongxue could justify herself by then. Of course, he also wanted to see Rong Junhan's reaction. Rong Junhan left the hospital not long after Mu Tongxue left. She smiled coldly when she saw Mu Tongxue waiting for her in the garage. "You're still useful. I did not raise you for nothing. So what should we do next?" It's easy for Shin Jianchuan. But it's not easy to deceive the other Shins, especially Grandpa Shin. Of course, you don't have to appear in front of them. You just need to listen to my arrangements and create trouble for them. Shin Jianchuan asked you to come to the hospital on the weekend. You can go for another checkup to see if there's anything wrong with your body. This is a good opportunity. You did well tonight. Did well? Did Rong Junhan really think that Shin Jianchuan believed her? The next morning, Shin Jianchuan asked the nurse to contact Grandpa Shin. He wanted to meet him. Grandpa Shin avoided the Shins and went to the hospital. He heard from Shin Jianchuan about the real and fake Mu Chichi last night. Then he snorted angrily. Rong Junhan should not be underestimated. Does she think that we don't know what she wants to do by using Mu Tongxue? Chapter 171. Grandpa Shin looked at Shin Jianchuan. He pointed at him and smiled. "You are still the same as before." He was sharp and smart. Even though he had been asleep for many years, he was still clear-headed. "Father, we can't let Mu Chichi get hurt again." "I know. I will make the arrangements." Then Grandpa Shin told Mu Chichi and Xing Xiao about this interesting incident. Mu Chichi was actually very surprised after hearing that. After all, even the Mu family couldn't tell the difference between her and Mu Tongxue at times, let alone the fact that Mu Tongxue was pretending to be her. How could her father tell? Xing Xiao saw that she was confused. So he said, "I told you that your father is different from the others in the Shin family. Do you believe me now?" Mu Chichi remembered that Shin Jianchuan had asked her about the tattoo last night. She subconsciously touched the tattoo. "Last night, Dad guessed that this tattoo of mine was a person's name. So, I told him that it was the name of the person I admire the most. He did not ask much." Mu Chichi was stunned. Xing Xiao smiled when he heard the word admire. "How much do you admire him? Don't mess around." Mu Chichi held his warm hand. "Did Dad figure it out because of this?" No matter how he did it, at least we know that he did not fall into Mu Tongxue and Rong Juanhan's trap. Don't you worry about your father now? He is not a person who needs to be taken care of as much as you think. Sheng Xiao knew that Mu Qiqi was worried about Grandpa Shin and Shin Jianchuan. It was because she knew how it felt to be framed. She did not want the people closest to her to be tortured. Although Shin Jianchuan had been framed and persecuted. Okay. Mu Qiqi nodded. Since father has made the arrangements, then we just need to wait for the show. I want to see how Mu Tongxue can imitate me. Sheng Xiao kissed Mu Qiqi on her lips. She can imitate your charm. But she can't imitate your taste. Mu Qiqi blushed. This man always liked to tease her regardless of the occasion. These few days, it was not only the Shen family that was bustling with activity. Bai Xinlan and Duan Xiao, An's matter was also a hot topic in Xingting University. Bai Xinlan was obviously unwilling to be with Duan Xiao, but Duan Xiao, did not give up. He was full of affection for his mistress. It was a pity that this mistress only wanted to live a materialistic life. Without money, what else could she do? Hence, Duan Xiao, was now a joke in Xingting University. He had tried all kinds of ways to stop Bai Xinlan, but he had never succeeded. The people in the school had been envious of him in the beginning, but now they hated him. It was clear that the attention they paid to scum like him had lost its novelty. Bai Xinlan was even more annoyed. She had finally found a rich man, but Duan Xiao, kept pestering her. She had to think of a way to get rid of this poor man. Soon Duan Xiao, saw Bai Xinlan near the school. There was a black luxury car picking her up. Duan Xiao, was furious. He chased after the car and stopped it. He wanted to drag Bai Xinlan out of the car. But the person in the car pushed him away. Are you crazy? Xinlan, come home with me. Are you crazy? We were just fooling around. Why can't you understand? I was only after your money. You are an idiot. Do you really think that I am as loyal to you as your stupid fiancé? Let me tell you, Duan Xiao. When I was with you, I had 3 other men. Before I slept with you, I even had a threesome with them. The driver in front of Bai Xinlan was stunned when he heard this. How could his boss be so casual with his woman? Duan Xiao, took a few steps back. He could not believe it. The way you are now is no different from when you hurt your fiancé. The way I treat you now is the way you used to treat her. Duan Xiao, you deserve to be left with nothing. Bai Xinlan was about to close the car door. But Duan Xiao, took out a dagger from his pocket and stabbed it at Bai Xinlan. Bai Xinlan screamed and dodged. So the dagger did not stab into her vital organs. Instead, it stabbed into her shoulder. Blood spurted out. The driver was shocked too. He quickly drove away. Duan Xiao's eyes were bloodshot. He could not catch up with Bai Xinlan. But the bystanders had already called the police. After the attack, Duan Xiao dropped the dagger in his hand and fell to the ground. Not long after, the police arrived. They handcuffed Duan Xiao and took him away. Duan Xiao's parents received a call from the police. Duan Xiao's mother was shocked. What are you waiting for? Go to the police station. The Lu family was settling the score with the Duan family. So, there were not many people who were willing to help the Duan family. Now that Duan Xiao was in trouble, Papa Duan did not have the ability to ask for help. He could only sigh. It's karma. It's that bastard's karma. Soon, the Lu family heard about Duan Xiao's attack on the street. Mama Lu felt a chill down her spine. Luckily, Chanchan did not keep in touch with this murderer. Otherwise, Chanchan would be in danger. Lu Chanchan also heard about Duan Xiao and Bai Xinlan. Now she could only say that the 2 of them deserved it. After Duan Xiao was arrested, Bai Xinlan was not any better. Although Duan Xiao did not stab into her vital organs, her arm was temporarily crippled. She did not dare to move at all. After she entered the hospital, she cried and screamed. The driver called his boss in the hospital and told him what had happened. When the boss heard that Duan Xiao was so extreme, he immediately asked his driver to leave Bai Xinlan and do nothing. So, there was no one to take care of Bai Xinlan in the hospital. These scumbags. They only care about money and not people. Wasn't this a reflection of herself? It seemed that there was nothing wrong with being treated like this. I will sue Duan Xiao, and I will sue the Duan family until they go bankrupt. After the incident, Lu Chanchan did not want to see Duan Xiao anymore, because there was no need to see him. Instead, she wanted to see Bai Xinlan. This woman didn't seem to realize that her doom was about to befall her. Chanchan told Mu Qiqi the news over the phone. But Xing Xiao was not surprised at all when he heard about it. The 18-year-old Duan Xiao, and was obviously not willing to be toyed with and lose everything. So, whenever Bai Xinlan said something extreme he would lose control. Chapter 172. Duan Xiao, and is not worthy of sympathy. But his parents have to suffer with him. I can't help but sigh. Xing Xiao patted Mu Qiqi's head and smiled. Everyone has their own fate. I always thought that you are a person who doesn't believe in fate. I am telling you that you don't need to worry about other people's business. Sure enough, it was Xing Xiao's style. He would not pity Duan Xiao, Anne's parents, because they lost their son after they went bankrupt. It was because they had sown the seeds. If they had not spoiled Duan Xiao, and so much and allowed him to do whatever he wanted, they would not end up like this. Thinking of this, Mu Qiqi felt that Qianqian would feel better. Lu Qianqian sent someone to find out which hospital Bai Xinlan was in. She went to Bai Xinlan's ward as she had some free time. However, after Bai Xinlan's injured arm was bandaged, she could be considered to have come back to life. When she saw Lu Qianqian at the door, she thought that her eyes were playing tricks on her. But in the next second she calmed down. Miss Lu, are you here to persuade me not to sue Duan Xiao? Isn't this a good chance for you to get him back? Do you think I am like you? I have thrown away the rubbish and I still want to get it back? Lu Qianqian took off her sunglasses and sat on the sofa in Bai Xinlan's ward. Since you are not here for Duan Xiao, and I don't understand why you still want to see me. I'm seriously injured. Is it not enough to appease your anger? Lu Qianqian smiled. I did not cause your injury. Why should I appease my anger? Tell me, what do you want? To be honest, you have a miscarriage. In other people's eyes, you and a flirtatious woman are the same. But we are both fallen women. I really can't think of any tricks you can come up with to deal with me. That is because you are poor. So your imagination is limited. Rich people have many tricks. For example, me. Lu Qianqian turned on her phone. I just spent some time to investigate all the men you have been with these years and told their wives about you. Not many. Just about 20 of them. Bai Xinlan's face changed when she heard this. By the way, kindly tell them your phone number, information, home address, and so on. Take a guess. Will you be torn apart? Lu Qianqian, why are you pretending? Aren't you happy that I dumped Duan Xiaoan? Lu Qianqian chuckled. Then she replied to Bai Xinlan, yes, it feels good. But it doesn't change the fact that you've interfered in my relationship and indirectly caused my child to miscarry. With that, Lu Qianqian looked at her watch. It's almost time. I guess those rich ladies are coming soon. Having said that, Lu Qianqian got up and left Bai Xinlan's ward. Then she bumped into the rich ladies who came looking for trouble at the door. They looked at Lu Qianqian and asked, are you here to settle the score with the asterisk shoal too? She's inside. Lu Qianqian pointed. The two of them stormed into the ward. Soon Lu Qianqian heard the sound of someone slapping her face. Among those men who had interfered with Bai Xinlan, some of them were from powerful families in Jianchuan. Bai Xinlan's fate was foreseeable. With how shameless Bai Xinlan was, she should be dead for hundreds of times in the wilderness. Lu Qianqian sneered. Then she left the hospital. The scumbags and the B** cheese were all dead now. She wanted to continue her life. On the other hand, Jing Yun was investigating Rong Junhan. He wanted to know if she had used the name Tong Shui for other things. So, Jing Yun asked his friend in the police station to investigate if there were any suitable candidates in Jianchuan. The police did not find any criminal records about Tong Shui. So, Jing Yun tried to investigate in another direction. In the end, he got a shocking and exciting news. So, after the meeting in Huangyao, Jing Yun put the result on Xing Zhao's desk. Young master, there are thousands of Tong Shui in the world. There are hundreds of candidates in Jianchuan. So, I've been investigating for a long time. I've also used many connections. But I didn't find anything. So, I decided to investigate this one. Xing Xiao opened the document and saw the copy of the business license. It was a jewelry company called Xing Rong. The legal representative was Tong Shui. And one of the shareholders was Shen Lin. Others might not know who he was, but Xing Xiao knew that he was Shen Qiqi's second uncle, Shen Jinyun's son. I didn't expect that the relationship between second Shen and Rong Junhan was not only because of kindness, but also because of this. With such evidence and the testimony of the dean's daughter, can we prove that Rong Junhan had hurt young master Shen a second time in the past? Xing Xiao shook his head. His eyes looked deep. What if Rong Junhan said that there was only one Tong Shui? We can't rule out this possibility. Then what should we do? Think of a way to prove it? Xing Xiao put down the document and tilted his head. He looked lazy. Second Shin has been holding a high position all these years. He's a late bloomer. I'm afraid he's even closer to Rong Junhan than Grandpa Shin. I wonder how he would feel when he knows that he has acknowledged a traitor as his father. This woman is really interesting. She hit it well. So, we just need to keep digging. She will give us more surprises. Xing Xiao stood up from the sofa. Let's hide this first. Rong Junhan still wants to use Mu Tongxue to stir up trouble. We must think of a way to get rid of Mu Tongxue. This time we must get rid of her once and for all. I don't want her to appear in front of Qi'er all the time. It's disgusting. What do you want to do, young master? Xing Xiao looked at Jing Yun meaningfully. Then he smiled devilishly. Let Mu Qiqi vent her anger first. Then go to Brother Shin's ward and have some fun. Let's put on a show. Then Xing Xiao hooked his finger at Jing Yun. Then he whispered something into his ear. In fact, Mu Qiqi was looking forward to the weekend. She wanted to see how well Mu Tongxue could imitate her. Moreover, she wanted to see what Rong Junhan could achieve with her scheming. What would happen after she deceived Shin Jianchuan? But sadly, Mu Tongshua's acting skills were not effective against Shin Jianchuan at all. At night, Xing Xiao finished his work. When he was about to go to school to pick Mu Qiqi up, he received a call from Jing Yun. Mama Sheng had gone to the villa again. So, Xing Xiao asked Uncle Lin to bring Mu Qiqi home while he went to deal with his mother. Mu Qiqi knew that Xing Xiao had something to do when she saw Uncle Lin. So she did not ask anything. She went straight to the villa and had dinner with her aunt. Chapter 173. Mama Sheng had come to her son's turf because of her quarrel with Papa Sheng. Moreover, she was anxious about her son's condition, and wanted to check if Xing Xiao had a woman. So, she decided to stay in the mansion for a few days. There's no smell of women in this place. Jing Yun is your young master. Xing Xiao saw his mother trying to get information out of Jing Yun when he entered the house. Young master, Mom, Jing Yun is just following my orders. Why do you have to trouble a log? Xing Xiao sat on the sofa lazily. You can't hold it in anymore? You have to let me know what kind of woman you've found, don't you? Mama Sheng looked at her son helplessly. You've done a good job keeping it a secret. I'm very anxious. I'm just messing around. Xing Xiao said half-truths, wanting to see Mama Sheng's reaction. Mama Sheng chuckled and sat beside Xing Xiao. She knew her son very well. He had been rebellious since he was young, but he had his own bottom line. Even if you're messing around, there should be someone like that around, right? Mom, you should go back. I'll let you see her in 3 months. Xing Xiao promised. Really? Mama Sheng's eyes were already shining. Really? Xing Xiao nodded. Mama Sheng knew that even if Xing Xiao liked to play tricks on people, he would always keep his word when he made a serious promise. Then let me stay for 2 days. How long has it been since I last saw my son? As you wish. With that, Xing Xiao went back to his room and texted Mu Qiqi. I'll be home late tonight. Don't wait for me, sleep by yourself. Mu Qiqi was a little disappointed when she read the message. She could not imagine what it would be like without Xing Xiao by her side. Be that as it may, was Xing Xiao someone who would be tied down by others? Mama Sheng had prepared a sumptuous dinner, but her son was nowhere to be found when she entered his room. Even Jing Yun had to leave the house out of fear of being questioned. Xing Xiao was in a relationship, but he was suffering. It was 8 o'clock when Xing Xiao returned to the mansion. Mu Qiqi had just come out of the small mansion and was taking a shower. Xing Xiao heard the sound of the shower and took off his shirt, pushing the door open and entering the room. Mu Qiqi was about to say something when she saw him. But just as her lips parted, Xing Xiao's kiss covered hers, urgent and ferocious. Under the shower, Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi tightly. It was convenient since he did not have to take off her clothes. Mu Qiqi couldn't stand such an urgent demand. She moaned, and in that moment, Xing Xiao pushed her against the wall and lifted her legs. Mu Qiqi was so uneasy that she quickly grabbed his arm. Didn't you say that you would return late? Xing Xiao pressed her head against the wall and pinched her chin. My little one, don't you know how attractive you are to me? Mu Qiqi blushed. She couldn't say a word because Xing Xiao increased the force of his blows as he asked. I always thought that I was the one who needed you more. Xing Xiao was furious when he heard that. If you don't realize it, don't even think about sleeping tonight. So, the battlefield moved from the bathroom to the bedroom, and then from the dressing table to the bed. Xing Xiao was full of energy. He would only stop when Mu Chichi fell asleep. But when he saw Mu Chichi's sleeping face, Xing Xiao hugged her in his arms and murmured, "You don't know how important you are to me." Mu Chichi didn't hear anything. She just closed her eyes in the warmest embrace. Although her body couldn't bear it, she liked Xing Xiao's endless demands deep in her heart. She liked the feeling of Xing Xiao in her body even more. Because he found out that the Shen family and the person with the identity of Tong Shui had a company together, Xing Xiao set up a trap to prove whether Tong Shui was Rong Junhan. Actually, they could get the answer quickly if they investigated the Shen family. But it would alert the enemy and make Rong Junhan cautious. So Xing Xiao did not plan to go to the Shen family. Instead, he asked Jing Yun to set up a trap. Since they have a jewelry company, it's easy. Jing Yun, go and contact a few partners. Do me a favor. Ask to see the legal representative. Even if you can't see her, you can get her signature or voice. It's not difficult to prove it. But, young master, when do you plan to tell Grandpa Shen? And how do you plan to use this card? Xing Xiao smiled when he heard Jing Yun's question. Isn't it Sunday today? There will be a good show when Mu Chichi goes to the hospital. And you should prepare all the documents and give Rong Junhan a big gift. I understand. It was a call from Jing Yun early in the morning. At that time, Mu Chichi was still sleeping soundly in Xing Xiao's arms. Because it was the weekend, there was no class. So, Xing Xiao didn't wake her up. He let her sleep until noon. Xing Xiao got up and went to Huang Yao. Soon, Grandpa Shen called and woke Mu Chichi up. "Xiaoqi, why are you not in the small mansion?" After Mu Chichi heard the question, she suddenly sat up on the bed. "I'm outside. Where are you?" "Grandpa will send someone to pick you up." "I'm in school." Mu Chichi responded quickly. Because Mu Tongxue had arrived at the hospital. Grandpa Shen was anxious to bring Mu Chichi to the hospital so that the show would be more exciting. Of course, Grandpa Shen asked everyone to go to the hospital to see Rong Junhan's real face. It was the weekend after all. They had time. So, Grandpa Shen and the Shen brothers were in the same car. Mu Chichi would arrive at the hospital alone. That would make the show more dramatic. Because of his previous experience, Shen Jianchuan could tell at a glance whether it was Mu Tongxue or Mu Chichi who entered the ward. But Mu Tongxue and Rong Junhan did not know that they had been exposed. And they were still acting in front of Shen Jianchuan. Rong Junhan was sure that Mu Chichi would not come to the hospital today because Grandpa Shen told her that Mu Chichi could not leave because of the research lab. In fact, Grandpa Sheng had deliberately revealed this information to her. If he had not said this, she would have thought of a way to hold Mu Chichi back and prevent her from appearing in the hospital. Soon, the Shen family arrived at the hospital. Second Aunt Huang Yu did not look happy when she saw Mu Chichi. Of course, she could not tell whether it was Mu Chichi or Mu Tongxue who was in the ward. "Dad, second aunt seems to dislike me," Mu Tongxue said deliberately in front of Shen Jianchuan. "I don't like you. But you don't have to complain to your father." Huang Yu retorted, "You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure."